I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. All right, we'll entertain a motion for the board of minutes for September 12th.
Yeah, I read them a little bit here, but there was one thing on one of them, I think it was about the roads up there. Maybe it said Commissioner Hinkle gave right at the end.
I caught that. I fixed it this morning when I was making the new minutes.
And then I had emailed you that you put,
Yep.
okay,
I got that.
did you make a
Yeah.
motion? I'll make a motion that we accept the board minutes for September 12th, 2023.
Nice second. Hasn't been.
All in favor? What, public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll go into correspondence.
We two on the top are the two that are public comments for that later agenda item.
Okay. The first one is from the abandoned on Snook Trail Road, and that's on at 140. So the comments of these, just hold on to them till 140.
Yeah,
And they're from the people that wanted the road abandoned. Okay, and the next one's from the Conservation District. This is that meeting that they put on, it's a conservation district meeting will be hosting the MACD Area 5 meeting this year. I've gone to a couple times, it's pretty interesting. They talk about the permits and what they're doing and what their plans and.
Are we going to the next one?
I don't know yet from this. Find out, what day is it again on there?
It is September 26th,
That's next week, yeah. I
and
might
it's
be,
at the museum.
might be Gold Country,
Go.
down in the Paradise Valley. And a friend of mine got one, he wants me to go, you know, yeah. It's supposed to be crappy weather. But, okay, and the next one's, a letter from Linda Bach to Joe and Jamie D. Minko. And this is the subdivision regulations for place for Granite County regarding RV developments.
So anyway, this is you register and pay $30 for this.
We never used it, I just showed up, we have to pay before, but I don't know what the deal is, it. Maybe it's something a little different, you know, they got people coming or something. And the next one's Richard and Liz Willett on Coakley, I don't know if I say it lanes.
Morning.
Referring to the blacktop being applied to the East Fork Road, we have a continued concern about the steep shoulder created on some sections of the road, with winter. No, so the new blacktop is, you know, and many drivers, some with trailers to speed, now they're complaining about the speed. Would it be possible to put up more maximum speed signs on the road?
We're gonna put speed signs and delineators, just like all about when that thing happens, before winter. And my observation, I've never seen anybody speeding like that. But
I'm not
I
so,
travel all the time, but when I've been on it.
Well, that's the thing, you make a road better and then it ends up being,
Goes up.
yeah.
Yeah, with the abrupt edge, the delineators, right? So that's going in.
Okay, the next one's a letter from Elena.
Did you get a chance to read that? May I make a comment on
Ask the chair, it's fine with me.
it? May I make a comment?
Yeah,
on
go ahead, Blanche.
it? If I may see it. So, good thing for recordings. I mean, that's one thing, public record recordings, and she refers to. When she raised her hand and was ignored, okay, before she made a comment. When we were changing budgets during the public hearing. And she was questioning whether or not we could do that. And then was saying that, okay, if you were gonna do that, it had to follow to the following week so that everybody could see it. And then I responded to a comment. And said that we could make changes, that's what the public hearing was for. The public was welcome to address our budgets, but the commission can also make public, look at the hearings and the budgets and make changes. And address that, yes, that we had conferred with you and you said yes, that it was.
Well, then you have the resolution on two more
So-
times.
This was, did we have, I think we had read the resolution. Or was before we read the resolution. I don't know.
Yeah, you made a decision and had the resolution off for
Okay.
first
So
reading.
she was stating that we had to. And I said, that we didn't, and then she raised her hand again. And what she says here, that I stated it was not up to debate, that did not state that at all. I said that I was not going to debate her on the decision. And what we did following that is we told the clerk and recorder to put the changes immediately up on the web so that everyone could see them. And what the clerk and recorder had done is she automatically sent them right to Elena. As a matter of fact, apparently what the clerk and recorder told me is that she sends Elena stuff before she's even asks for it. So she keeps Elena. So I guess with this letter, we would wait until their attorneys contact us to sue us before we address and do anything about it, or what? I just want it known
Yeah.
that that wasn't stated.
I think that is a big distinction too, because not for debate means that she can and talk to you about it. But saying you're not gonna debate her means you're not gonna.
I wasn't,
Well, you're not
and
gonna.
because when I stated that, yes, we could do this. And it didn't have to follow through to the next meeting before we even read the first reading of the resolution. Is so, and luckily I went and watched the recording again. And so all her statements, I guess we'll wait until.
Yeah, I mean, the Commissioner Adler saying my bad, go ahead, you recognize you missed her and she had an opportunity to speak. See. She's asking for an apology, so that's up to the commission on that one.
Okay, well, we'll go into public comment because that was the last of the correspondence. Do we need to put that on for next week then, or letter, or are we waiting to see what our attorney's gonna bring?
Let's see here.
Well, she wants us to send a response to the attorney. And I would think that the attorney would request, I think if she's going to sue us, then sue us. Is what I was looking at it.
And we can close the meeting for personal stuff, personnel.
Yeah, private matters, yeah.
Yeah,
So Yeah, it's up to the commission on how you wanna respond to it.
I think wait till we can hear from her attorney. I don't see what we did wrong. Like I said, I missed her hand, I apologize for that. I don't know what else you can say. I mean, sometimes we get talking and there's other people who were in here and, you know, it's just, it's not.
You acknowledge your mistake and allowed her to give her public comment.
Clearly, listening to the recording, the meeting had been adjourned. She stated that it hadn't been adjourned. The chair said that it had been adjourned and seconded, and she said she made a phone call. Well, the meeting was already adjourned when she made a phone call and no one responded to her phone call.
Yeah,
The meeting was not in session. Clearly,
So we'll go ahead into public comment, any public comment.
right,
Morning.
good.
Is there any public comment? It's some nice weather though, isn't it? Oh, God, what weather? Pretty nice.
And that's been 80 something Saturday and. Yeah,
Well, you should have seen that when storms and moving in, it would rain and blow like you wouldn't.
Really?
I mean, it was. I forgot how it was.
how long were you up there?
We,
Catching fish? I know you're good.
Baseball, put some-
we had to go right at the peak of the run.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it was 40 years ago. But
Still,
it's still good,
and there's a lot of people going up there, so
yeah.
they offering a deal on plane tickets or just people are just going. Morning.
Howdy.
Being there's no public comment. We'll go ahead into road and bridge superintendent Paul.
We're just spreading gravel and, maggot and blading. We'll finish up a little bit in fall and then right now we're at Romsey, everybody's up there. Trying to get that one done, we should be down there. Day or so, and then we're gonna go to Travelers. And put some up on that stretch up there. And. We're just kind of going around, but after that, we'll be in. Down in the middle fork. And everybody will be down there other than the guys that are dirt patching and gold patching.
So you're saying you're spreading gravel.
Mhm.
That means that on their time card, they're saying they're spreading gravel and you're saying what road they're spreading it on.
Correct,
And this is for indexing purposes.
yeah.
Okay, great.
We're at on Rumsey,
What's that?
we're at on Rumsey.
Coming down off the hill. Started on the top of the hill. They're trying to get it all the way down through the hill and then to. Down as far as where we took that cattle guard out. Up by Boone's house. I mean, quite a difference.
I see a cattle guard going on East Fork.
Yeah. We're letting that get smacked in, we won't patch that. Because
Yeah, we got a letter from the Willets, and they were wondering about the abrupt edge. If we're gonna get something up there for winter, like, I guess the delineators
oh, we're gonna put delineating up
before
there.
winter.
Oh, no, yeah,
Yeah,
Where's that at?
on East Fork.
yeah. No, we got a lot of delineators to put up. Several spots.
They did a good job filling in that northwest of the thing, they put some more there this morning, and I think we should build northwest.
Should,
I mean,
I think I gotta dig it up again.
Is that why that buck, or dump truck all that stuff there?
No, that's for the VFW. But,
Yeah, if you want to
Oh,
do it,
that's personal stuff? there?
Yeah.
Oh. I.
you want to do an invoice, then I could send it to Northwestern Energy if you want.
And then like the other one, they fixed up, might go up further than
Yeah,
that,
the former
was that,
one.
was that,
that was us, and then it's just been. Always had a bad dip in there,
but that's from every day that
Yes.
cost there.
yeah, about 30 years ago or so.
Okay. I
They-
guess they did a really good job, I just, if we gotta go behind Northwestern or Blackwood, I think we should start.
Well, it's just every time when you dig, that starts sinking after a while. And. I just want them to level it up, they're gonna go above there where that's all rocky like that
Yeah.
and fill all that in too.
Doing a really good job. I think, the zonometer was checked, no water leaked in there and everything, they awesome job on that too. That's the way. We're down below with the 2,000 yards. Okay. Right ask the girl. Okay,
Everybody happy on the north end.
I don't even know what that means.
Be
Yeah.
positive.
trying, but, okay, we'll jump right into this walkthrough with. Or with Bradley, or when you know what's going on there, we got that work.
We're just waiting for a permit, he's gonna email us a permit and we're going to, where it's deep. In there, 30 feet, just say it's pretty deep, and then you get shallow, we're gonna dig that out about. 2 to 3 feet all the way across. And then taper it up to where the stream narrows. So we'll take that whole wide part out. Dig it down and then slope it up, and then but we gotta haul that stuff away. Cause he doesn't want it on the banks, obviously. And, but we're just gonna just haul it into against that. The hill there and dump it there. And some of that we could actually use on that road where it washed out too, you know. We utilize some of it, but he's gonna get us the application one of these days. I called him again today and. Well. And. We'll either do it this fall or we'll do it in spring. When we do. So. Other than that, everything's good.
Just gotta put in
We got-
bigger culverts for Copper Creek.
Yeah, we gotta change those sometime. But. Then he wants to be notified of any culverts that we change. So we can look at them if we want to put bigger ones in or whatever, but we always outside, no matter what we do. And
What's in there now?
what's that?
What's in there now?
Put 36 in there.
Gonna put a 36.
We put a 36 in and it still won't hold it. in the spring, I mean, there's just so much wrong, but
So
I
I
would
mean-
put in about, I think there was a 24 in there. And,
Kind of one of the main funds.
Yeah.
Comes off out of there and that just.
I mean, there's that one, there's another one, 20 feet tall, but. Other than that, good. We gotta put a pipe in up there by below Randy Peterson's too, where that draw where that washes out. We're gonna put a 4-foot pipe in that. It's got about a 2-footer in it now. But we have them pipes, so. They've been here for. I don't know. But we use them.
Okay, we'll move right into the update on the crosswalks project.
I gotta call in to get some pricing, and I don't know if you wanna put crosswalks in, is that what you wanna do, or just have them paint something on there with some electronic signs up.
Come up, state names.
So Sarah Rouse Pintler, acting district ranger, and then Mrs. Laura Chbelsky, she's, does some of our road stuff for us, so I guess I just wanna know what piece, cause if we're talking that piece that looks like Forest Service Road.
Yeah.
Then, unfortunately, our forest engineer was gonna hop on, but he had a family emergency, and we just need to be, cognizant of what we're doing on a Forest Service road and what we can and can't in terms of installing things for crosswalks. Speed bumps, I think that's why we kind of went with like the removable ones that I think folks didn't work, so. He was willing, like I said, I apologize that Heath wasn't on here to help us have a little bit more conversation. His recommendation, just based on some mapping stuff with him not being able to get out here. And then not hearing what everyone's concerns were, would be that we could maybe put up some additional signage out there. But altering the road surface per se in any kind of way is sort of. Maybe not, he needs to look into more whether we can or can't do that. That looks like. So I don't know what the background, or like what folks, how the went after the speed bumps or not, or what they're still concerned about.
So the speed bump's been removed, did you know that? And so the thought came a couple weeks ago to put in the crosswalk there in Georgetown Lake Road. And have the solar crosswalk signs and painted markings there. Is that something that Forest Service would agree to, or is that
So I'd have to take that back to
Okay.
our engineer and ask about that. I know he wasn't real keen on doing anything super crazy. Just, I don't know the whole entire story. Like I said, he was supposed to hop on here with us, so.
I just have a bunch of landowners up there that are real frustrated because they're saying they've had kids almost hit by cars, and they're I think they have cabins on Forest Service property, my understanding. And so that looking at the research, crosswalks are a very good idea there.
Wouldn't we have liability though, if say the flashing lights went out or something, somebody got hit? On the crosswalks, I mean, why would we take liability for Forest Service Road?
Well, some crosswalks aren't even marked with the flashing lights or whatever, they just have the paint, so not having, if the flashing light went out, I don't see that there'd be liability, there's still signage there. What I've seen though, in doing the research, I don't think that speed radar signs are right there with the crosswalk, that would need to be in a separate spot, but it's another issue that got brought up and put in the rate of the solar signs.
What did the sheriff say about the 15-mile-an-hour
He
sign?
was supposed to come over, what's his name said he was coming over, and I haven't talked to the sheriff since.
He hasn't been agreeable to the 15 since there's no resolution there, and take a speed study to go down that low.
We've got a public comment here. Keith.
Yeah, thanks. Latimer Babbage. I did talk to a couple of after last week's meeting, Chuck, you were gone, but Paul and I visited there the other day. But what we were talking about is having the radar speed sign ahead of the crosswalk sign, maybe not flashing lights, tells you what your speed is. I found out a little bit more this morning, on them signs. They can do a data dump for the commissioners or for Sheriff Dunkerson to say, okay, from 7 to 9 or whatever, you've had 10 people. Exceeding whatever you've set that limit at, whether it's 30 or whatever to know, but it won't tell who did that. But seasonally, you'll eventually be able to know what that is. It wasn't as much the flashing light, I don't think. It was just the radar sign ahead of it, then the crosswalk sign. Maybe I've seen the one over by the Forest Service office where it says, crosswalk 500 feet ahead, and then there's the crosswalk. I don't know. That's something you all have to decide how you want to do it. But there was, I talked to Wayne Went in Deer Lodge County. They put that sign up by the Seven Gables there. So Billy and I got the contact for that person. And then the guy with the MDOT sent me 3 other people that have signs and different deals. So they're all pretty much about the same price, about $40,000 a flashing light sign. And then some of them do give you the cloud storage. You don't have to have internet as part of that deal. So, whether it was Billy or whoever could be the admin of that, then she could either give the sheriff rights to that, that data or whatever, so that they could know, well, maybe on Thursday night, everybody's coming through speeding to set their trailers or leaving Sunday night. They could allocate their resources accordingly as well.
Oh, good.
Go ahead and state your name, so they.
Hi, I'm Laura Chelsky. I was just curious about when you say crosswalk installation, what exactly are you talking about changing? Just paint stripes, and a sign?
Yeah.
Okay, so not changing the road surface.
No.
That was their whole idea, was to
Just
try to
color.
avoid maintenance on the road other than having,
Yeah,
remove
just,
the speed bumps and having to have Paul and his crew go take them out, or having to plow with them or whatever
and
type.
then like they're talking, putting dips in,
And this
this
is,
would be the easiest way, and you're not bothering the road, you put the signs on the edge of them.
and the road surface, is that already paved or is it unpaved? That section that. is-
Paved over there
It's paved.
where you guys are, yeah. We really don't care about you guys. We're on the other side of the lake.
Oh, okay, he's talking about, Georgetown Lake Road,
But theirs is paved where
Yeah.
they, where.
Lake Shore's
guys are
played
talking about.
pavement.
So
Then there's solar signage for crosswalks too with the.
how many crosswalks on Georgetown? Cause are people gonna walk all the way along the road and then cross the crosswalk? See what I'm saying, or?
Well, where we were proposing to do ours on our side of the road, on Georgetown Lake Road, is where all the docks are. There's probably 12, 14 docks. That's probably the main crossing point there, right down by Village Lane. You'd have.
Sunset Strip around there?
What do they call that?
Yeah,
Marine?
right, on the Sunset Strip. You could put one there as well if you'd like.
I think the main thing was, we're just trying to figure out where's the best spot, and this would be the easiest fix.
Well, that, on our side of the road, probably, your heaviest traffic areas, right where they have that parking area and all the docks. I mean, that would be
Probably
probably,
for the bottleneck is.
yeah. You got the 2 blind curves on both sides by Stokey's house and then down by Godbout's. But if you get them slowed down on both sides of that, at least on the Georgetown Lake portion that, we're talking about, that's on the county anyway.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No, thank you.
No, I'm just trying, so on your side, you got can't do not table that and top of them.
Well, I think the biggest thing for us, or what would be helpful, is whatever, if there's anything proposed on the Forest Service piece of the road. Then to let us know exactly what that proposal is, and then we can go back with.
Just have some people come in and talk to you, they said they were gonna come in and talk to you, nobody's been in.
Like, it's Molly Allen.
Molly
and,
Allen, Blaine Messer.
Blaine Messer are the ones
Are
that
the
been
main
in
two.
here. Yeah, they've, yeah, they were the ones that wanted the speed bumps, but I think they were agreeable to the crosswire, like that idea.
So, on that note, whether to move on it, we're still you got the paper, you got that one paper from that guy, I'm trying to figure out.
I have
seen in that-
this
it's on
one,
the door.
Vladimir, that you,
I can show you a picture of at least what we're looking at on our side of the world.
I think this is
I have a question.
for-
This will help you guys if you take it
so
back.
he said it's
It's just
4,000,
like that.
this is for 4
Right.
signs.
Okay, Blanche, go ahead.
So. Okay, the Forest Service, what you're saying is. That you would need to get hold of your engineers to decide whether or not. It's okay to put crosswalk on Forest Service Road.
Right, and like, and what signs, I mean, we have requirements for our signage and all that, and we don't want to necessarily start setting precedents about. Putting, all kinds of signs out on Forest Service Road, so we just wanna be a little cognizant of what's showing up where.
What you're saying is if the engineer says no. We don't feel that we should have a crosswalk or signs on Forest Service Road. Then that would mean that we don't put the signs or crosswalks on Forest Service Road, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but we still can do it on the Granite County side. So going forward, we
Yeah.
could do it on the Granite County
Get over
side
that.
right now.
Though the county's doing some maintenance on that, correct, right now? My advice, if they say no, is for the county to say, we're not gonna do any maintenance on that, cause. This crosswalk idea is a very good idea, so I think it needs to be told to the engineer that. There's gonna be ramifications if you don't do it, and this is an important issue.
Well, and like I said, it's not that he's not, it's just that we wanna make sure that it fits within our specifications, not that it's a hard no, it just needs to.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
I'm not
But-
saying, I'm just wanting to understand
You
that
are-
it's Forest Service Road.
So where would the crosswalk go on Forest Service Road?
Well, we're supposed to look at it and get a proposal where to go.
Once again, are people gonna walk all along the road and
I
go
think they're
across the
trying,
crosswalk?
Well, it may not be a crosswalk as much just as speed limit reduction signs. I mean, if the crosswalk's an issue, I think the 2 speed limit signs on both ends of that would probably help these guys.
Like I said, that's where like, I know talking to the engineer with like speed limit signs, right, we would just use like the yellow signs that are not like. Not the white signs that's the speed limit, but like a warning sign when you go around a curve that says like reduce speed, like a suggested sign. Cause that's all we can do without a speed study, which we know isn't gonna be helpful anyway. It'll take a long time. So it's just that sort of thing, making sure it's the correct signage on Forest Service that.
Probably if you put a yellow sign up. It's a warning, that it's 25 mile,
Yeah.
you can't get ticketed on a warning sign.
But we can't anyway, I mean, we really have no authority to, I mean, that is a speed limit, if the speed limit's 35 on those roads, it is, and. We can't change that without a speed study, so all we can do is help
Well,
try to.
I think it's 20.
yeah, it's 25.
Well, whatever it-
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah, going lower than that would
We
be a
can't.
speed study.
We can't do it anything, so. That sort of thing, so yeah, if we have a proposal from both, that will just help us, like I said, make sure that we have the correct thing, and I know. Like you said, we'd probably get our road crew to put them in, most likely, but we can talk about some of that too,
And what we're trying to do is slow the traffic down.
correct?
that's a whole deal.
Right, so, and like I said, that's. We'll do what we can within whatever fits in there. To make that
Right.
happen.
So I guess we'll keep figuring out, see what we're gonna do on the Georgetown Lake side for sure.
So we're gonna
Kinda
decide
stuck
on,
the Forest Service
are
side.
we gonna decide on the Georgetown Lakeside then? Go forward,
I think we need to find out the pricing and then move ahead to see.
They're
I
gonna
think
be like,
we gotta do something over there. And that's about the best.
so would we make a motion on going forward on the Georgetown Lakeside?
Thought you did last week.
Did.
You passed it last week.
Well, it was last week was look into the pricing, I think, was your actual motion. But if you're. Yeah, if you wanted to say, yeah, go forward with it,
I mean,
then,
looking at the pricing, we could look at the pricing, but we need to go forward.
we'll just say it's gonna be. $10,000 for 2 of them,
That's a good number, because the 4
that should be And then,
The four of them, we got one quote back, it was like 17 grand for the
Yeah.
four of them, so, someplace in there, five grand a sign's probably pretty conservative. And that depends, Paul, if you got any poles or whatever, if they're shipping poles to, all that kind of stuff.
right. Well, why don't we just make it, or you guys make the motion, we'll order two of them. And it doesn't matter where we're gonna put them, because we could use them regardless.
So I think we're in agreement that we're gonna take it out of the LACT. Because it's public safety. Correct?
Correct. I think
So
we
it's
should go ahead.
not, it's not a. Well, it is kind of a cost issue because we want to be conservative if we possibly can, but it's not anything that. It's gonna be a budget crunch for the.
Right.
So two solar crosswalk signs
Yeah,
that are the push button for them to push the
No,
pedestrians through.
No,
No, not that type.
no,
Okay.
you're looking at two solar speed signs that should be able to, like that there, like there.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about
Well, the
crosswalk.
crosswalk sign, if you can put the crosswalk in and go in front of that, once you try to get them to slow down, that's where Sheriff Dunkerson said if you had that and had the crosswalk thing, he could enforce that, kind of like this lady was talking about, a little bit differently, but he's got a speed limit sign that says 25 miles an hour. And then, if they're going through that, they obviously, and then I think now that what I found out today is he would also, or you guys as the commissioners as well, would have data saying, okay, well, maybe Thursday night or Friday night, or, Monday morning when you got construction traffic, this is, these are a couple of times we could get it slowed down. I think after a while, people are gonna realize that, they are patrolling it, but it's not wasting resource out there when chances are you got one or two people.
Alright, so that'd be 4 signs in, right?
Well,
The
there's
two
only-
speed and then the crosswalk signs.
Oh, yeah.
Two the speed
But the other
signs. and-
signs won't be blinking across. the
Correct,
sign.
they're
Oh,
just,
yes.
yeah, they're just.
This sign here.
You got that other picture,
Okay.
Billy, that I sent you? It's
Um,
over by the Forest Service there.
I forwarded it on to him, but when I tried to print it, it printed
Yeah.
really weird and it wouldn't print the actual picture.
So, you're gonna make a motion?
So we're getting 2 of these signs
It's just like that.
and then 2 of something else.
Yes, regular.
Just like
sign,
this.
Crosswalk sign.
Oh,
Just like
Yeah,
this
no,
one.
just one solar thing, 2 solar things, but not, and then you can actually, when I went and looked at them other ones down at Missoula and down at Elberton and that, they got signs down below saying crosswalk and that, huh? If you can put it all.
I think that's,
Or
Here's-
crosswalk ahead
Yeah.
would be good and have it ahead of it and then that one up.
well, that's how the ones are by the,
Yeah,
over by your Forest Service office anyway.
Right.
yeah.
I'd entertain a motion then on 2 of them,
I'll make a motion to buy 2 of them.
I'll second it.
public comment.
Do you want me to get with Billy? There's 3 or 4 people and we can get some information and then you guys can deal, because I think there are some government pricing, obviously, they're not gonna
Yeah.
give it to me, but. There's 3 or 4 companies, once you get some specs.
I think so, because you're involved in it, you've
Yeah.
been getting us a bunch of updates and I'd appreciate it if you would. and
Yeah, am I on the payroll too, or can I?
No.
ask-
It's not much anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully by next week or whatever, it may be quicker. I
And
just
then just be in touch with Billy and
Yeah.
Paul, and you
That's
guys
fine.
kind of figure out what to do.
Thank you.
I was just gonna say, if you're gonna approve the crosswalk now, I do that in your motion as well, but is that gonna be later?
We can
later
do it right
thing.
in the same place.
So
I mean,
I would add that, then you could add that to your motion then.
That'll be in the motion to approve the crosswalk.
Okay.
At
And get
Denton's,
signs.
at Denton's
And
point.
signs.
Well, no, this is the Sunset Strip.
Sunshine, okay, sunset, okay.
No, it's in Sunset Strip.
Sunset.
Just right off of Village Lane. I get Paul
All
knows
right.
both the area where we're talking about.
All right, any more public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Alright.
All right, motion carried pass. Yeah, you
And they
guys-
said about a 30-day lead time to get that, so.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll jump
Thanks.
into the cooperative road maintenance agreement.
We just had a clean copy that you guys had signed, I think, last week. So, they just put out the other pieces on there. The way you striked out the dumping of the material and the gravel, we struck those out, so it doesn't have those. In there, so just the edits that you had made last week.
So you knew the decision that,
Have you
So
looked at
you're-
this?
Yeah.
Paul, you're gonna dump in the pit then, or?
Yeah, and I actually contacted the state, talked to Ryan about it, make sure he was good with it, and he's good with it, so that'd be our plan.
I'd entertain a motion on this.
make a motion that
Now you know with that last week is on.
we accept the agreement with the Forest Service on the 2023 road maintenance plan with the cooperative forest road agreement. 101-R road -101010200-0.4.
So they cover one road or?
It has the ones that we normally have on there, plus the 1589 road that I think is. Finished up,
We're done,
finished up, but we just have some more billing, like you guys still
Yeah,
have to bill us
one
for
more
some of
round.
that. So that's included in there just because there's a little bit of work that got done this year on
So
that.
this is for all the cooperative roads
It would, yeah,
that we've done before.
No, it's just for, it's just for the 1589 road because there's still some billing that has to happen.
So it's for the one road.
For the one road, and then the ones, the Georgetown Lake ones are always listed on there every year.
Not
Lake
on
Shore.
They're on, yep, they're on here. And it's just, this is saying, so this part is, kind of what it looks like, so part A would be something that the Forest Service is doing. And then on county roads, which we don't have anything specified this year. And then part B is anything that the county is doing on Forest Service roads, so this is the road, this is the 1589 road. That we just need some more billing, and then this is like the Georgetown stuff where a lot of it's winter maintenance, kind of snow plowing stuff.
Well, then some of that Sarah's right, if something happened to come up where the county could do it, work with you guys and we get paid.
That's the
That's the
1589 road.
deal
Yeah.
with this.
Yes, so this is just, this just covers, we have a master agreement that's done every five years, I think, and that's when all of the roads are listed, but the yearly agreement is just so that we're saying that it's okay for the Forest Service has an agreement with you guys to use Forest Service obligated funds for the county to do work on Forest Service roads and vice versa, and then same thing, the counties cleared away saying like, you know, we have this agreement in place so we can use taxpayer dollars on Forest Service
Well,
roads.
then we don't have to go back and try to go through all that study and all that stuff.
Right.
Work together and be paid.
Yeah, and so that's something we can talk about more, you know, if that's like, these are, those roads on there have been there for, listed for a long time. That's something that we wanna take a harder look at this winter before we could chat with Laura about it and see if, you know, if there's some other things, some other roads that you have been doing or something else that you need us to do, in terms of just some basic
I
maintenance
think
or
we need
something.
to sit down and look at that last one and go through it.
Yep.
Close like we have before.
Yeah, we have before, like I said, it just,
And this will be done next spring, redone next spring.
correct, yeah, it did not get done this spring.
Yeah, this is pretty much so we can bill them on this.
The 1589.
How much is left?
we're done.
Yeah.
You take that now.
We got it.
Yeah, if you guys are good, I'll have our forest soup sign it, and then we'll send it back to you.
When is the
So
master
you
agreement?
decide, right?
Yeah, so I'd entertain.
last
or
one?
we have-
I already made a
Yeah.
motion.
Also,
Public comment,
Yeah,
so
it'll be resigning in
26.
being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried five.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, the other one was solid waste report.
So, they're gonna drill the well out there, it sounds like toward the end of next week. Met with them last night again. And we're gonna get it located, and our plan is, if possible, to put it up kind of towards where the compactor is. Yeah, just between the metal bin and the dumpster, and then that would give us a hydrant without digging there. But it all depends on how the power is buried there. If we can't do that, then we're gonna put it over by the entrance to the garage. And then we'll dig a line over to there and put a hydrant in. And then the water line toward the bathroom, and we'll put another hydrant in there. And then the water will go into the building. So we'll have 3 hydrants. Well, if it's over there, if it's by the compactor, we'll have 2. And he's holding the price. Even though everything's gone way up, he's gonna hold to the price of $67 a foot. And we'll have paperwork on that. And who knows how deep it is, and that's anybody's guess.
It's the going price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. That's where we're at. And
How's the well in Drummond? Is it in good shape? Good.
got water in it, I guess.
Yeah, it was- you know, it good.
And then
We used it a lot, when we
Yeah.
had dead animals.
Yeah,
for the metal, I don't know. You know, if we keep taking metal all the time or not for scrap?
We need to get my message.
I never got it.
Oh, yeah, I must check, you have, want me to check, Vicky has it all.
How did it come out?
We get a little bit, just like, you know, as I can scratch not worth. But we are getting some money for it, but I think if we don't take it, we're gonna end up having a crap laying everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I think
That's-
there's absolutely no way we can't not take it.
And I'm just afraid, you know, if these,
It's just one of those necessary
maybe
things.
the scrap did come up, $10, $12 this week, so. I know we're not getting a lot, but we did get,
it was
I have it
2,000
here.
something there, I think.
Yeah, like 2,100.
We're just gonna have to look at expanding the Beaver dump. So we can get another dumpster in there. You know, and. Obviously, that's not this season, but it's something that's gonna have to get figured out. Just because there's. You tried to move the metal bin around to that site, it's just too damn tight, you just can't get in there. So that just didn't work. But anyway, I guess that'll,
down the road now, and then
Figure
we'll
it.
take what we can and keep going, I just don't want to. We start turning away, I think it's gonna be lying there with.
no, I don't think you can do that either, I just. Well, I was just curious if you got anything out of it.
Yeah. Get
Yeah,
that.
I had it here, I don't know what I did with it.
So was that for the year or was that a quarter?
I thought it was the year.
Year, I mean, it's terrible.
Well,
Of
it's
course, we gotta pay for them dumping it now, we used to haul some of it down, traded in at Pacific, you know, or some of it, we could use that as credit. And we'd buy iron and stuff for the county guy, so, our county. So, I don't know if they're still. It's just not worth hauling it down, it's.
No. It's not. I guess it's better than having it laying in the ditch.
One the right away.
I don't know where it all keeps coming from.
I don't know what people are big, and it seems like when they're building, all of a sudden they find all this and then they haul it in. A lot of it's clean up on these new lots that people have bought, and that's where a lot, most of the
Like
stuff.
buried stuff
Yeah.
that used to be.
And we get stuck with it. Okay,
Do you have space for another dumpster there then?
Well, it's gonna be tight, and what we're gonna wind up having to do is. Get a cat in there and level off that, where the burn pile is. And bring all that, a lot of that could come forward, you know, and then just make a little hill up, but. Everything behind the shop is not getting utilized, just. You know, even if we gotta haul some dirt out. You know, to utilize that piece of property a little bit better, but
you know, even if you have to haul them on, don't be it, say nothing else.
yeah, if you can do that.
I might take some up there, if it's good enough to cover up all the busted glass and stuff. They've been shooting cars, I mean, it's a mess up there.
I ain't been up there in years, but
So,
I believe the lease says improvements will be approved by the town, so we just gotta need to run
Yeah.
that by them.
anything's being improved. The burn deal takes up so much room. They bring them root wads in, well, you know, the root wads doesn't burn for years.
okay, well, go ahead, we're gonna move into personal matter or closed session.
$2:30 or 3 tomorrow, or?
Okay, so we're back on now, and we're into the dam tenders report, and it's at 64/28.95, 6.6 inches below.
It just went down to 58 then, huh? Yeah, it's been 29, I've been watching it.
Well, move to continue at 30 CFS.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor? Motion carried, passed. Alrighty, the next one is an update on the courthouse roofing warranty, Ace Roofing discussion. Can you sit down?
Oh, I don't think that's Ace Roofing. So I keep on emailing them, and I'm emailing the Samuel Brokenshire, the vice president of Ace Roofing, and all of his stuff back is like pretty negative, you know, we did nothing wrong. Send pictures with annotated pictures, so I went up there on the roof and took pictures and sent them to him, and then Jake, the president owner, main owner, called and said, yeah, we'll get, you know, we want to get this, make this right. And then there's more emails from Samuel Brookshire saying, no, we're just gonna hire an attorney and go to mediation or so we're getting mixed messages from them, but going up there on that roof, how much their dips and everything, and the contract specifications talked about how they're supposed to be flat and smooth. The warranty people are saying, well, we're warranty if that water damage, if the water causes damage, we'll, you know, then we'll fix it. But that seems wrong on how many dips, and I know the county agreed to put this layer over the existing roof, but they should have done, I think, a better job. So the contract talks about going to mediation for litigation. Just want to proceed forward to mediation, or what do you say, if they keep not wanting to make it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Have we messed with it at all?
I mean, trying to do repair the dips and so, no, because it's basically taking up the roof and potentially putting down some insulation type boarding.
I'll try and correct the mistake.
Yeah, that's the correction would be pulling up the plastic layer and putting some.
And we did that.
insulation. No,
We haven't
the
done
county hasn't done- that's what we've asked them to do. Mixed signals, I mean, Jake, the owner, says, yeah, we'll make it right. Samuel, the vice president, says we're hiring an attorney, so. They said they'd get back to us within 14 days, that was last week, so they should be getting back to us.
Okay, I guess we'll
So-
wait to see what they say.
We want it on the agenda again
Okay.
next week or 2 weeks.
And I just keep putting them on.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Is Dave done
His,
it with the roof?
about, yeah. And then he's gonna get on the drain before the snow flies or problems.
We just can't keep waiting and waiting.
It's gotta,
I've been. You know, we keep getting stuff and saying we've got this and that, but we gotta get this stuff done. I mean, this is not good.
yeah,
I don't know, I don't wanna get in a big conflict on the phone again, that this stuff has to get done. And if it's not gonna get done, and I'm sorry,
Agreed,
there's stuff
yeah.
going on in his life and that, but there's, all of us have problems, we gotta have this before winter, and if
yeah.
we don't even know about electricity and stuff, and we're supposed to do that, I mean, here it is, it's damn near October.
I-
Just tired.
I thought it was left that Janine was gonna talk to the electrician now, is that?
I don't know, see,
I
that's,
don't remember.
that's the thing, I guess we need to talk to Janine, and maybe if you can get hold of her today, have her come up, and we'll ask her if she's talked to somebody to see. But does she know where it needs to be?
Yeah,
That's the next thing, he contracts this and does.
Get a price on what it would cost to put
Well, then we don't.
wiring up there, where you put that after, I guess you can get a price to see what. It would cost to put up there, but when you put the wiring up there after the job was finished.
You put it in first, and you don't know where, you need to know where it's gonna go, I guess. You need to know where it's gonna come out, and then he needs to know, build the drain to where the, you know, something happens there.
you
It
could,
just seems like
yeah.
we're getting further and further behind, and
you wanna call him here, or not, or do you want me to call
Oh, we can call him here and we'll be at it.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll move on to. We just need, I'm just saying, we need to get this stuff wrapped up.
Yeah,
Darn near.
yeah, winter's coming.
You can maybe pass that on, I don't care, it's no matter, just, I want it done. All right, Philip Brown to request utilization of the parking area around Georgetown Lake Chapel. Again,
So I think he was.
No, yes, sir. All right. Play around here. Mr. Adler, third. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Klaus. Chief assistant.
So, I don't know.
Yep, I passed along your letter to
Oh,
each
okay.
of them and they be reviewing it.
No, but I figured you didn't have time, I just got.
We're on Zoom, you mind stating your name so they can hear you?
Philip Brown.
You want me to start?
yeah, go ahead.
So, looking at your letter, it looks like, you'd need like the license with Chad Lannis, if you talk to.
I have to talk to
Okay.
Chad, yeah. I
Talk
kinda
to
wanted
Chad,
wait and
okay.
See if,
And then if you're in Anaconda Deer Lodge County, you need a permit from the planning department as well, depending on where you do it. Using the chapel parking area, that is commission talked to Paul Alt, the county road superintendent. That's not plowed right there in the winter. One idea potentially would be that parking area close to Moose Marina. There's some public parking there, but you could talk to the commission about a lease where you potentially did some plowing there of those parking spots.
right, and I wasn't sure if it's plowed or not.
So why does he need a permit from Chad?
If he's gonna do food,
Which
you're
I'm not,
doing food?
I'm not really, and
Yeah,
I just wanna do like
Here is,
some coffee and hot cocoa, but
Oh.
I'm not cooking nothing, maybe some snack, like bags of snacks, but nothing.
okay, so I just talked
I'm
to him
not
and see what. he-
cooking anything or,
yeah,
anything
I
like that.
see you doing food, but. you're
it's
not
more of
doing
a
food.
fishing out, bait and tackle, it's mostly rental. ice
Yeah, if
fishing
you're doing
rental.
food, yeah, that's. a big
No, I
deal.
don't wanna do food.
Okay,
Maybe
all right.
some bottles of water.
I
or whatever, but
misunderstood.
Yeah, I don't wanna cook anything, or I won't have anything going like
No,
that.
I think I was one who brought that up, because I thought, wait, it sounded like you're gonna cook.
It's the idea of a concession stand,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
fishing equipment, so but it's not cooking at all.
Yeah, because the county doesn't plow that area.
And I didn't know, I wasn't sure with people, I knew people parked there, but I wasn't sure in the winter. I go by there a lot in the winter.
Do
and I kinda
people
pay
park there in the
attention.
winter time?
I don't know if they do in the winter, I
Yeah.
just know people use it as a, car,
In the,
car, cooling place, but I didn't know if they did it in the winter or not.
probably some of that, they might even be in the Anaconda Deer Lodge right away, probably. But they're even parking into the,
I just see
Chapel
people
park.
parked there,
Oh.
I'm
By the
assuming they're
chapel.
carpooling, not up close to the chapel, but just in that general parking lot.
okay.
I assume they were carpooling,
Yeah,
maybe they're not,
probably-
I
probably
assume that's
are.
what they're doing.
Linda's seen like the Blackfoot subcontractors have been parked right there too, and there's people that park right there.
Is that Anaconda Deer Lodge County right there?
Yeah, but so Granite County owns the chapel property, but it's in Anaconda Deer Lodge County, so that's what makes it a little more complex there, but
That's why you're saying he needs to get a hold of them first.
if you do. Get a lease with the Granite County, it still needs a permit from Anaconda Deer Lodge County on the, and Linda said from the planning department, I'm not sure what the permit's called. And then if you do food, Chad Lannis, but if you don't do food, then.
Right.
So the issue would be before the commission is if gonna look at leasing parking spots in that
If he was
chapel.
parking on
Granite County
Granite
property,
County property,
correct.
it should be the chapel.
Parking lot.
Parking lot of the chapel.
I'm not sure exactly all of what, what all that entails, but I just assumed it was all the same place.
Yeah,
So I guess we just gotta wait to see what they give them the permit and that, and then we make it.
Well, then he suggested,
there's the public parking that Linda Bach, Granite County planner, said there's. Public parking next to Moose Mercantile, and I'm not sure if that's Fish, Wildlife and Parks or Forest Service. I don't think it's Forest Service. And it says you get, there's a sign
Which
that says
sounds
you get
like
a
a
year
good
for
area.
$50. That's probably,
Yeah, and I'm going through that right now with like fishing accesses and stuff, like you have to file with permit, but. Most places are just telling me no, they're not even giving me the chance to file a permit, cause it's up to the park ranger. When it comes down to it, and he's just telling me no, he's not even letting me process any of it.
that's
I've got a permit. That I just sent email to Lolo National Forest for like Piney Creek Campground boat ramp. And I'm waiting on them to get back to me, but I'm not feeling too optimistic about that because I've been turned down by the BLM and Forest Service. Everybody.
that seems odd, especially if they're offering to other,
Well, that's the
people.
thing. The person that you're supposed to talk to about the fishing access sites. Nobody ever answers the phone. They don't call you back. I've sent numerous emails and the email that they tell you to send this permit to. It sends me back that it's not an email. And so I really can't get a hold of anybody as far as fishing access sites are concerned, you know.
I looked at the Fish, Wildlife and Parks map. They have online by the Moose Mercantile, and it doesn't show. What that parking is, I'm not sure.
Moose Marina, is that what?
Moose Mercantile is the they're the old just down from Seven Gables, the little rental spot there.
It's on the lake. though,
Yeah, right on the lake,
Grassy
yeah.
Point, picnic
Yeah.
area.
Yeah,
So that is Forest Service. Which I'm waiting, I've sent them emails, I'm just waiting for
Okay.
a response, and I have talked to her. And they're giving me a chance to do the permit and everything, I'm just waiting on that.
okay, if you had that permit, would you still,
To be honest,
Want
if
the
I had
chapel?
that permit, I would rather be there on the boat ramp.
okay,
I mean, that's ideal, but I'm trying to, I'm like I said, I'm not too optimistic, so. I'm
so
trying to-
maybe I would suggest seeing if you get that, and then if you don't, come back to the commission here.
Right, that'd be fine with me, that,
Yeah, that'd be better.
I'm not sure I am gonna take.
I don't see any reason why. Like I said, county doesn't plow,
I'll plow it. I'll bring it forward and I'll plow it, you know,
if that would be good.
and I don't need much,
Doesn't look like
room. I
it's-
just need a pickup in my trailer and maybe set up an ice shack to show people. But I don't need enough room to get people to pull in safely and pull out, but I don't assume there's gonna be 10 people at a time or. You know, not gonna be much, but I'm sure it's gonna be a hit, you know, somebody come fill up their coffee and then
Don't bother me.
take off.
Everybody's shrugging their
Yeah,
shoulders.
the county offers that to the Catholic diocese, but they do not have a exclusive in the winter, they're not there, so.
Right,
And there's weddings up there, so, but I would just say, yeah, if you can't get it, the more prime locations and wanna use that to come back.
and that's the thing with them is if they do let me, she told me pretty much flat out that they wasn't sure how long it was gonna take, like it could be next year. Is what she told me, the Lolo National Forest lady I was talking to, well, so I'm trying to talk to everybody else, I talked to Moose Marino, they told me no.
But we already have like a model agreement, so as soon as you're. Know it's or realize it's not gonna be
You better come
happen,
back.
yeah, get on the agenda here in October or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah, good, do what you can now with them, if not, then you'll get back in it right away.
okay, yeah, it was easy enough to make it happen, so.
If I don't see no problem, I mean, I don't think none, so
Yeah.
just make sure Anaconda goes on.
So who do I talk to there?
Anaconda, Dearest County would be their planning
Planning
department.
Okay,
And you'll have general liability insurance in.
Yeah, and I have a concrete business, so I know,
Okay.
I have a lot of that stuff related. So.
I just do that and come back here. They give you, just keep jerking around, just come back. And
Okay.
help you out.
Perfect, no, that would be awesome.
Yeah, even if it was on the phone or Zoom.
No, I can.
Okay,
Yeah, I just, yeah.
Come
all
by.
right.
Thanks, I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, take care.
All right, I guess we're in the monthly claims.
Lee, I'll be back.
Well, what's this one for Big Sky Passenger Rail Authority?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, I haven't seen none over yet. We waiting.
Probably their annual thing, is it?
1,000, you know.
I don't know. I didn't know you guys agreed to send them here.
Our membership fee.
We never voted on that, did we?
I mean, that's like a year by year deal, I think.
Can you let Clark Ward know, he said that he's getting a septic pump and or
It'll be on-
shouldn't he call
on the
Chad
agenda.
Lannis? And says he can't dump anywhere in the county. Is that true? That's a problem. If that's true, let me know what's going on. Thanks.
There's no places in Granite County that take it, but there's I think Helena and yeah. But there's like the guy, there's different businesses that'll come in and pump it for you, and then they take it out.
Yeah, well, he's got some guy that's coming to pump it, but he don't know what to do with it. Put it on his field.
And we find somebody else to pump it that takes it out.
Yeah,
Who is it?
Clark Ward?
Who?
Hey, Clark Ward?
Pump it is what?
No, he's got somebody coming to pump his septics.
And this is first one he's ever pumped his septic.
Well, he can't get rid of it. I don't know, just read it. He sent me a text wondering where
This is
We're back to that again. Oh, we gotta
It's a
figure it out.
problem.
there's no one in Granite County that,
this could have gone in your
You wanna answer it?
correspondence today. This should have been in your
Yeah,
correspondence
no.
today, but I never
But there are-
received it.
Nowhere in Grant County can take it. You might call Chad Lannis.
Well, we gotta put it on the agenda for next week, I'd say. Okay.
I will get his number.
You never received this. Did you see it in Commissioner email? I don't know why. Right? It's a letter. It's not a, I don't know.
Which one?
563-46.
And let me go to Commissioner email again. I
I
don't
think
remember
we-
seeing that though.
4066. But there are businesses that will come pump and take it out of the county. That guy up in the comment. They bought, but for
What's that? Fine.
That's the. Being a member of the Big Sky Rail. And I think
That's gotta be on the agenda.
we never said that, no, I think it's a yearly thing and we never said that we wouldn't.
We never said we would either.
I think we're waiting, we need more information on it. I didn't know what, I guess I don't know.
I think it's been budgeted again this year. I guess bring in Sarah. It's a yearly thing. We are members and that's the annual fee.
I want to vote for it.
I found all the infrastructure bill money,
Yeah,
all the infrastructure bill money. From the infrastructure, you know how they were saying it all went to the state? I talked to Joan Radine from MDT last week to see if there was any grant funding available for safety projects. And she referred me to the MDT site, and it's all available for grant funding under,
we're gonna have to make a decision next year because it was budgeted.
from the infrastructure, it's all grant funding from the state. It all went to the state. Now it's all available for grants, but they're all for highway projects.
You're gonna have to do that. You're just going to.
So you were talking about for what project?
For like safety projects to see if they had any money for like crosswalk signs or speed signs, so we didn't have to spend our own money. But it's, no,
It's gonna
They
be
don't.
brought up, right? Fiscal year budget, because that was budgeted for, so you have to, you can't decide not to. Yeah, it was. It was.
I just went to bed.
So just because it was in the budget, we have to,
Yes, you do.
Because we accept.
but we didn't vote on it. We had to vote on it every year.
We accepted and adopted the budget by resolution, and that was in the budget.
I missed it.
Never true.
Get through another year. Maybe next year.
So can we put it on the agenda to get out of it? Just drop the whole thing?
Can't do it now,
Why not?
because you can't. You've already accepted it, and it's in the budget.
Next year.
Next fiscal year?
Yes.
No, that's kind of. I guess I didn't really understand more the public safety in that on the Forest Service road when they said, you know, they're pretty much against that. That's what I would said, maybe then we're gonna maintain that road and. You know, here we're trying to have be safety and. I just didn't like the way they come off on that, I was like. Thank you, Lord.
Well, I can see why they're doing it, because, and that's kind of where I was coming from before. I don't think we should do it on the Forest Service road. Because it sets a precedent. You know, it's still a Forest Service road. That's why I think we should put the 15-mile-an-hour signs back, because they had them. It was a long time ago. It's their road. I don't think we had the authority to take them down. That's my opinion on that. We should just put them back up and forget about it.
But the sheriff says he can't push it. Through, so then what?
So we still have 15-mile-an-hour. It's their road. It's not our responsibility,
That's true.
you know?
So in other words, if they're going faster than 15, you can't give them a ticket. Is that what it's saying?
That's the way I understood.
That's what the sheriff said. Okay, but is that our problem? I don't think so.
And the Forest Service, are they the ones who put 15 miles an hour up there?
Yeah, way back when, it's been there for years, since 92, somebody was saying, at least 92, because that guy he'd been there since then, and they've always been there. So that road was totally Forest Service at that time. We had nothing to do with it,
So it's their time.
you know, Yeah, so I just put the 15 mile an hour thing back up. If people have problems, they can go talk to them.
So can we prove that the Forest Service put the 15 mile per hour signs up there?
They
Well, it
were
wasn't-
there before we
It
took
wasn't
it,
the county,
they were there before we took it.
and they have
over.
15 mile an hour speed limits in campgrounds. That's where I'm thinking they got it from. You see, so the houses were there. You know, on both sides, so it's in their minds, it was like a campground, basically, and they could do that. That's, I think, what happened. And I think we're just setting ourselves up by even getting involved in it.
And I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I kind of said that for you last week, that you were against it, putting stuff on Forest Service, so, but, you know, I am now, yeah. Yeah, really, it should go back to them.
So, yeah, this wasn't really, I didn't really understand that, okay, in 92, the county didn't have a service agreement with the Forest Service.
Right.
And they're saying in 92 that the speed sign was 15 miles per hour. And there was an agreement, so it was the Forest Service that must put the 15 mile per hour.
And the way they act, they're pretty much telling us it's their road, and they don't want us to
Their
run
road.
on, so there, they
It
should,
wasn't that she said, no, it was that she had talked to the engineer.
yeah,
But she's
Sheriff
bringing
said
it
they
to our
replaced the
attention.
signage.
huh?
Sarah said they would replace the signage.
They would replace, then they can put the 15 miles per hour sign up. Did they say what the mileage would be?
I thought she said, she quoted whatever the county had it at.
This is a predicament.
Okay, I put in for mileage to the first meeting at the lake. And she got already paid, that was already paid.
What's that?
I didn't never put in mileage for them. I didn't put in mileage to go down and check the closure of the road either. I don't put in mine. You forgetting, oops.
Yeah, I forget too. I just went back,
You already got paid for it?
no, I think so.
What is it?
Mileage to go up for meeting at the,
Sometimes when she asks me for dates, if it's a meeting you're all at, I'll give her that date too. So maybe she calculated it in your date for that. I don't know, you'll have to ask her.
what are you saying?
I think it's probably right. I don't care.
Is that your writing? Oh, she's saying you already got paid for that
Yeah,
and you didn't?
I don't think so, because I forgot that whole month.
You want me to go get proof?
It's only-
Yes, yes, we get it.
Hello.
So the July 6th one was on your pay check. Billy sends these to me, and she had indicated. Six. Candy.
Huh?
You're eating candy?
Server. Want some?
No.
You better,
Yeah.
come on.
I don't want any. Oh, I want my cold to go away.
I'm glad you're sitting in my truck.
In the corner. Do you want me to advertise the Hall House in the paper again for rent, or do you want me to wait till they're done with their siding project?
They're gonna get the siding ordered today on the, I just picked up light brown. And the last winter, they tried to see if we'd take off he has a dog, and we said no, because I already told people there's no animals, so we can't. No, we'll put it back out.
Okay. Do you want me to wait till they're done siding, or do you want me to put it out now?
I just put it out now.
Okay.
I'm really excited about doing it.
I'm so excited. Always excited.
Duval Ford. Jacksonville, Florida, what's that? Ford, yeah. Sheriff vehicle,
Oh yeah, you bought a new truck. Is that it?
Did we get out of order? We did, didn't we, with your claims?
Yeah.
Are you being grumpy?
nothing good about that.
Okay. What do you eat?
Candy.
Skittles? So on gravel. Speaking of gravel. Are we gonna get gravel tested? So that everybody has a chance to sell their gravel to us?
Say that again.
Are we gonna get gravel tested to see if gravel is good instead of going on the opinion that the gravel isn't any good?
I guess if you wanna get some certain pit check, then they will, but stuff that we've been getting is all DOT approved.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
No, I like
when
that
someone
stuff.
says they wanna sell us some gravel and it ain't worth
Yeah,
poop.
I guess that's I don't know, I guess you take a bucket in and just see what there, it just depends on what it
That
is.
cost us a lot. We did that on the pit out there on the middle fork. We had, the engineers gonna do it. So I can't remember the cost, but basically.
But we can't go on one opinion of one person saying it's not any good and then we get the bid from,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
But a lot of it is that. We're looking at, you gotta look at and seeing if it was crushed or if it's just dug up and screened. So crushed, like Tommy went out and crushed it out there and made what we wanted. Where another guy, he's just digging it out of the ground and just running it like a grizzly or something. So there's a lot difference.
so if they're digging it out of the ground, then they would sell it to us as a different type of gravel.
That'd be more of a road base than a.
So if we needed road base, then we'd get it
Yeah.
from,
Mhm.
and they'd sell it to us as road base.
Yeah.
Do we buy road base?
Now and then, yeah. A lot of times though, we'll pick it up, we have spots we get our own. You know, we can clean up and that, just like he's saying that. That stuff they're digging out of the weir, we can take that, put it somewhere, use it on the road.
And would that be a road base type thing?
'Cause there ain't no binders to it, cause it's a water ground, you know, washed all the binder out of it. Billy said we got that stuff from Robinson the next day,
Yeah,
or did you get that? That-
and he had said he had an appointment this morning, and so, you know, the solid waste thing is this afternoon on the agenda. And then he called over to solid waste the end of last week saying that he moved his appointment, so he would be available this morning. So I called over to Granite Disposal this morning saying, no, we don't have that on this morning, it's on this afternoon. Well,
So what happened last week, Chuck, is that. Granite Disposal came in and said they were the understanding that. The list of people. Couldn't go to the dump without paying. So we don't have a list of the people,
So we got a list.
so we got a list.
Yeah, I read that in the.
Did you read the minutes?
in-
Yeah, okay. I guess you read the minutes, I forgot. Yeah, it was.
So, is he gonna get scales in?
No, because you can't find scales. I don't know what we're gonna do about them scales. What are we gonna do about the scales?
I think we gotta still figure out, we're getting. Figure out how. The way, or I don't, you know, he just. Said he couldn't, but Blaine found a couple spots he could, but his trucks are so old that he can't, you know, he had a big ladder.
Is that our problem? We gotta get up, catch up with the real world here.
Well, we gotta do
So
something.
we can't just keep on going, because his trucks are old.
No,
And
I mean, they're dumping in and then they started acting like there's more and more and. it's just, you know,
I think we gotta make a decision by a certain date. And advertise for trucks with scales, and if he gets it, he gets it, you know, you don't, somebody else.
well, that's the thing, and now he's bringing in, so at least we can actually see how much is really going to him, you know. It's gonna show his weight, where he weighs in at not being paid for. Compared to just throwing it in there, we never had a clue, so now. You know, we know each one,
So what he's hauling in is not being paid for.
it's just getting dumped in there, the people that are having it hauled in are paying him, but he's just dumping in there, I mean, he's not we're not charging. him for the dump,
There,
Right?
okay, so. We're missing something in the chain of events. Because BFI comes in, look how much garbage they've hauled. And that's where it ends. There's no comparison of what's actually being charged to our customers. That's actually on their, see what I mean? He throws his in there
Yeah,
and nothing's charged
yeah,
to anybody, what
yeah,
he throws in there.
Cause
we can't do that.
no, that's what we're trying to tell him, we have
So we
to,
gotta pick, we gotta get tough and just pick a date and say, this is gonna be. Weighed, period, by this date. And advertise. If he did, if he want, maybe. I don't know. Give him preference or something, I don't know if we could do that. If he got scales on his truck, that worked.
Something that didn't get signed. So with. With Lynn saying, well, there's gonna have to be more hours on this data entry thing, I'm going, if this guy is such a whiz on computer. I don't, on computer, whiz, computer whiz, then he should be very proficient on keyboarding and data entry.
Mhm.
Where you initially have to throw in customers, this is, I'm talking about the county side.
Mhm.
And then your customer list is in there, and then you should be able to go in there and your data entry should be. The list should come from Granite Disposal and
And I think they can export it to an Excel from QuickBooks.
Yeah.
So,
the software should be able to. You should be able to just boom and pop it
Yeah.
in and it should update and upload.
Yeah.
So you get an idea of. He just eyeballs it and throws it into QuickBooks, I think is what Granite Disposal does.
yeah,
It's,
No wonder we're deficit.
well, that's why you wonder. You have no clue because you have all this garbage going in
Mhm.
and you have no idea. Who's getting, when you have Granite Disposal. Putting all this garbage in that's not going
Yeah.
anywhere, it's just going to the. BFI is charging us for that load going in
yeah,
and. It's extra garbage, actually, is it, yeah, it is, because. It's just something's not,
adding up.
Well, yeah, that's what it's not. It's gotta be weighed, all of it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
there's no paper trail for,
Yeah.
And it went from 600 to 700 customers, we don't know what.
you went from 600 to
I
700
don't
customers.
remember in the Escalante here, they didn't know how many customers does, it just does so many days and so many hours, and people that are out.
And he
We
goes
don't
up to the lake, doesn't he?
Mhm. Yeah,
He goes up to the lake and I'll do our little wet trees on the, Anaconda
Oh.
side, collecting garbage.
I bet he is, cause it's hard to tell which
Yeah.
side you're on when you're up there, cause it.
We're on that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, we got it. We did.
I don't-
get something.
We have the customer list. Should talk.
So I guess you're gonna be able to tell from his list whether or not.
Where
They're
their
a Granite County
customers.
resident, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
The list that he turned in, unless he only turned in the list that he knew were Granite County residents.
That.
that's too many things.
Oh. Hey, so.
Well, and I asked him that question, I said, are you here, all your people are Granite County residents? And he actually never really answered me. He just like,
We would have to go through and see, I mean, it has all of their,
do you have the list?
yeah. It has all of their addresses.
Yeah, they would all
Yeah,
have,
Georgetown.
they all
Lake,
have
Badger
Anaconda
Bay,
addresses up there.
Badger Bay, yeah, there's a lot of lake, I'm sure there's some that are Anaconda Deer Lodge.
That are Deer Lodge County.
They just say, yeah, cause Anaconda, Montana, yeah, there's some. Cause there's some that
Are
are
there
like,
legal descriptions or just,
no, and there's some that's like the pickup address and then they bill to another address. So it would be. I think there's some that are, but we would have to look them up. Cause like this one just says Fox Trail Way GTL, so I'd have to look it up. But then it's billed in Bozeman.
Yeah. Plus the sand.
And like, where's another one at the lake? 10 Edwards Lane. And I think, yeah, and then Edward, that one's built there. But that's in Anaconda.
Edward Lane, that's. Well, that's what.
But yeah, I mean, you would have to go through it piece by piece, but yeah, there's a mix for sure. Yeah, this one, Hilltop Lane is in Anaconda, that's up at the lake. So yeah, there's definitely Anaconda on there.
They're all Anaconda,
Mhm.
their address is Anaconda, up at the lake.
Yeah, when you get over to the,
Like on one of the ones, the like right through the middle, but is he getting anybody on this side? So you have to look at. The list
Well,
of,
it's easy to do, just kind of Google Maps and
and
type
find
in that
it.
address. and
yeah, you'd have to look at all
Yeah.
the lanes and stuff, I guess that would be something that. If they're doing that over in
Yeah, cause here's
If
another
the-
Hilltop.
solid
a
waste
Clinton.
clerk is making sure they're all Granite County residents.
For- With Anaconda, yeah. There's some in Anaconda, there's a couple. Yeah,
And then you have to look at the subdivisions to see, well, that's gonna, if they're going through that
Yeah.
list.
Did they ever get that, done?
they'll be able
Then
to
they'll
pull
be
that.
able to pull and see,
Yeah.
they'll be able to pull and see if they're actually Granite County residents.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yeah,
So we're not gonna buy no more gravel, cause we've used our 2,000 up here and the 2,000 down there, what we budgeted for. And then we bought sand from Carl Nelson.
Okay, so 2,000 up here, 2,000 down there, how much is that?
4,000, that's got $64,000.
We have,
But that's how we budgeted for this year, so that.
we budgeted 100 and some odd $1,000 for the gravel.
But that's just the gravel, that's not counting the home.
I know, but there was what we figured.
No, I'm just saying that the claims come in, did you see them? So we're not gonna have the big claims for gravel next month like we did this month, plus we had sand, plus salt, plus I was just making sure everybody was on the same.
Okay, so after all the bills are paid and stuff, you're gonna see,
What we have
Yeah.
there, and then if we, cause there'll be one more gravel thing coming in, but that gets billed to the Forest Service, he just said, so. That's all, I just wanted to make sure.
So we used up all the 2,000. On North End.
okay, so you guys
And
two
up
to
here too.
4,000 yards of gravel. But then you used. I kind of didn't get this. You budgeted actually way more than, what would you say, it was 64,000 this year? That you budgeted. And we looked at it, I'm just gonna go get it, just because.
Well, we budgeted 2,000 up here and 2,000 below,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Cause last year he only got budgeted like for that, so he wants more this year, but we've already, he did, Maxville. Stone Coin, Bear Gulch. So now he's finishing up on. Rumsey. Where else, I forget where else he was up here.
Rumsey, Travelers Home, Middleport.
Travelers Home and Hazelport.
And then the next one, we'll haul out of our own, we'll haul out of the Middleport pit, and that's our own gravel, but it will still, he's still wanting to run, Jibble trucks.
We have to pay royalties out of the Middleport.
And I was saying, wondering why we're not using, and that's some of the question I meant to ask him was, people ask me, why'd you buy new dump trucks if you're not using them? And then our belly dump was sitting, he said they're gonna use the belly dump up here, but they haven't been using it, cause it leaks a little bit on the highway.
Used to our building.
It could be on the gravel roads,
Yeah.
but I mean, we need to be running our own stuff, and if we have. These
Yeah,
are
we
questions
got to.
people are asking, why aren't we running our own? If the contractors are running dump trucks, how come we ain't running our own?
Let's tell them they're not. Doing a contract on Middleport.
He's,
Run our own. Like I said,
and now he's gonna run contractors, It's what you just said. This is a big fight, and
We need to
this
say
is the
that.
big phone calls that are coming into me that. Wondering why the county's not doing more with their stuff than keep hiring and hiring.
No, can't we just say, no, you're gonna do it with your own, our stuff?
We need to talk to him next Tuesday, put that on the agenda next Tuesday, ask him about this contract hauling out here. That's what I'm trying to get at.
What are you talking about?
Contract hauling is, they're gonna contract haul that stuff out in Medicare too,
They don't need to.
To where?
up the middle.
The pits on the middle floor. We
We're
can
gonna
even use
haul
our,
out of there. We need people to run wire and reusing their own stuff, instead of hiring, especially like on that coastal. Guess that's something we have to put on the agenda, ask him what the deal is, or what, you know. It's just.
Who's getting the contracting?
Day one.
I don't see
And we
why we
got
just
it.
can't call them up and say, no, use our own stuff on the. on the middle
So I
floor.
think we need to have them in here, so it's all on, you know, this is the thing, to find out for sure what the deal was or why. I don't know, I guess that's the thing, you know, I ask and then I get in the middle again, this is something we need to ask him is. Cause he said they're gonna use the county belly dump out there, but they haven't. On any of the other.
And they're
Well, I
not,
can see if you're doing it
They're
on the
going out
highway.
here, but they haven't been using it, 'cause I guess it leaks a little bit on the highways,
I can
So-
see not running our old ones on the highway. I can see that. But
we have new dump trucks, so.
Yeah.
And they're using dump trucks, but maybe, I don't know. maybe
it's just a short haul out the middle part. You got plow here and you're spreading gravel here. It's not like hauling gravel from here.
okay, and so they're having it hauled,
We're
is that what you're saying?
Contract call
gonna get contract.
Instead of using the dump trucks ourselves?
that we own.
That's what we need to know.
Well, then tell them quit it.
That's what I say. Call them up. We just made a decision.
Why are you doing it? And so is,
I was just asking, only reason I didn't know, cause I called and was asking to make sure that we weren't buying up, you know, what we. Bid for was 2,000 up here in 2,000, I don't want another great big bill coming in that we didn't know about, that he's used what we allowed him to use on the both ends.
and then we have how many yards that's at Middle Fork?
14,000,
15,000?
15,000,
15.
right under 15,000. We have to pay a royalty on what we take out of Middle Fork though to the DNRC.
DNRC.
DNRC. I have to do that reporting next week.
So you're saying that we kind of budgeted only. What, 64,000 for,
Just for the gravel, 2,000 up here and 2,000 down there.
and that's like 64,000,
That come to 30.
but we have 312,000. So you're anticipating that
But that's including hauling it.
200,000 is gonna be caught.
You know.
Okay.
Cost. I just letting you know that we used up what we said we was gonna use.
For this fall.
Yeah.
For this fall.
That's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
All right.
We used it, so.
Then stop it.
So who's Pentler Auto Repair?
Who?
Think it over here, I think pay the auto repair. No,
I don't know.
So what kind of royalties do we?
I forget.
I'll pull it up in the permit.
Are we being fair with the hauling or not?
Yeah, we're using who we got on there, and then there's just that one guy, you know, I brought up said that we have not called back. So, well, two of them. That's why I brought it to them. Cause he said they never ever heard back. He said he did, but that guy swears up and down they never.
They never called back.
He swears. I mean, I can, that's the problem, you get caught in the middle of that. If he keep documentation on who we call, he's gonna have to, so he can actually say, no, I called you back right here. Shows. Otherwise, these guys are thinking it's just. Biggest thing is jealousy. Just, it's getting worse. People are really, I mean, I do it every day. It's. You're calling and saying, well, he's,
$1.50 a yard,
How much?
$1.50 a yard.
That cuts in on quite a bit, you start hauling out there. If we did 15,000, we already paid him that. We already lowered.
Nope, we haven't paid him anything because we haven't taken anything out of the pit yet. I'll do quarterly reporting in October, so anything we've taken out in the last quarter for the last 3 months is. We'll have to cut a check for. So whenever we can do that anytime in October, that reporting.
How's it going? I'm trying to get that Pat Milligan's address from Paul.
Oh, I just have an email.
Oh,
I have an email,
Yeah,
he
okay.
emailed correspondence in.
oh, yeah, can you send me?
Mhm.
That Scott, he'll be here 11:30.
I believe that's the plan. He wanted to be here in person,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he was gonna come last week and then he made the appointment and then he canceled and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, he's like the next week, so I gave him the time and everything for the next week and then I never heard back. But I'm assuming you'll be here.
yeah, so they've actually been working on the design without a task order, so this is the task order on today. And
We'll just wait till you're done.
I have 2 different emails, so I sent you both of them.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
But here's my thought. They get out of the truck all the time.
Oh, I remember what you could, it's the same as the state and everybody else, they all wear them. I mean, they wear them all the time. Whether they're in the truck or what, cause. It's just too easy to call them out, we don't have. I mean, this big safety thing that we're pushing, we need it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's. And I've seen them without it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and argue.
No,
That's, what, you know.
You're on.
Mhm.
Don't disagree with what you said.
I'm just saying, we need to just
Yeah.
follow through with our safety,
Yeah.
we're pushing for
Yeah,
safety and we just. The
Yeah.
people that are running the course has to have our support behind them so they can, I mean, otherwise, why are we doing this? That's the whole thing.
yep.
Have I ever heard anyone back from the rig over there?
From-
Val, we got hit in? Anything?
I was gonna call and follow up on that yesterday. I know it's gonna be a while, cause
Yeah.
they are
Mine is-
way out for parts,
I've been 3 weeks, haven't heard no word, so.
Yeah.
I just,
but it is, I was gonna make a note to call them.
did you figure out, there was a bunch of questions, I guess, on the time clock thing, is that on today?
So, yeah, there were lots of people with questions and I think there's been I don't think there's a lot anybody knows yet. So I had asked Becky last week just to send out a quick email and she did, and there's gonna be a training rolled out to all employees and department heads as soon as she gets trained, so after she sent that out, I didn't get any more questions.
I just, when I got that, I can ask you if there's one.
Good
Hey, how's it
morning,
going?
Scott.
See you.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Excellent.
so one thing, when we were talking about, we're doing the indexing and trying to get all the roads together and. Carol.
Okay,
And she said she would volunteer to do the spreadsheet and stuff. And then Sarah may mention that maybe Matt's mapping could, because he has all that information in his
Consider a
software.
spreadsheet, yeah.
So, and then I think the ball got dropped. I'm wondering if maybe you could email him,
yeah,
because what it would be, and it's kind of called layering, is he could probably go in and just pull, because he has all the roads,
yeah,
and pull the county roads and get some kind of report for us. where
that we
get
could
started.
export.
And I think what I'm gonna do, if you don't mind, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get something
Yeah,
where we can have
Ready in a
something
minute.
where we can start, have some kind of documentation,
How's the
and then you
MVP
pull the time
project
cards,
going?
because once we get started, it shouldn't take us any.
All right.
Yeah, it should just,
To
Put
throw
down my
stuff
Bible.
in there and say, okay, we did grab, because apparently
Nice.
like,
One day.
Which
I got- I
state?
got my limit.
you knew that they put gravel here and put gravel
Had to
here.
get 'em
and gravel
home.
Here, so.
No,
you kinda knew
we
that.
vacuum pack them
Yeah,
here.
we had that document.
That's a real
We could,
cool
like,
place.
put 'em and Go back
We
there.
can cut 'em up.
I think it'd be way better, cause then we have.
They have a commercial vacuum pack.
Actually look up
Okay.
there. No, this
We got
is
to it, but-
Where we did it.
All
That's
right.
bad.
Where you at here?
So,
So,
yeah,
Okay.
I like it, cause I was thinking the other day, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make a
first
spreadsheet
class.
for encroachment permits.
about
Cause I get so many questions on them and it's like I get them and then I pass them off, and so I'm gonna kind of do
Yeah.
something with
Oh,
those,
no,
so I
no,
can
very
track the
obvious.
process a little bit
Oh,
and give people
Yeah.
better
They went up
updates.
there.
Business?
Okay, well, I'm gonna entertain a motion for the claims.
I make a motion that we accept claims for the month of August 2023.
Nice second.
Public comment? Is none all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so it's 11:30 and John Cromwell of State Architecture is here with an update and task order on courthouse ADA and elevator projects. Glad to see you, Scott.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, three things. Wanted to go over the task order with you, and our proposal from the design team. A schedule and then the drawings and where we're at right now. So whatever order you should preference,
You're the boss.
well, let's go through the proposal side of it first. And just I'll talk you through that and walk through it. Numbers are a little higher than I thought they would be for the design team, but I just want to walk you through that. And I've got a copy here for Billy.
Thank you.
Welcome. And then a copy. One's wrong. So in that, the numbers are in the very back. If you just wanted to go right to that, it's totally fine. I get it.
I think so. I think
You want to just talk through, the whole, this one, this is a consultant.
So what were we thinking before, like 86 or 87?
Yeah, so once the design team got into it, it just got extensive, and so I put a cap on it, I actually cut it back from what it was. As a group, and just, that's the elevator side, just getting into that, and so we're hoping that we can run a little ahead of that number. And not have to go that full amount, so, basically, what it works out to be. Is we've got structural engineering, and again, the consultant fees that you see there are the exact same numbers they gave me. I don't mark up, it just doesn't make sense, and so. The numbers that you see there, are their numbers as well, and their effort. And so from a design standpoint, that's where we are. There'll be a full design team opportunity. We've got mechanical, electrical, plumbing, engineering, structural engineering. We didn't have any civil because we're, as we talked the last time I was with you. We thought we would just stay right here to this side, and improve that pad that's down there right now. Not bust into the bank and create more ADA parking. And so it's really trying to limit the outside work that we want to do for the project and just improve that space that's there now. And also, as you remember, the north side entry will not have an entry off of, or won't have an elevator entry off the north side, just because we had to cut into the stair. We didn't want to do that. And so any ADA access will take place down here where it does now. And those individuals will come all the way through by the county nurse, health department. And then just right up to this floor and the next floor is on, so. Yeah,
That's what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So so the engineering and stuff is $100,000 on the.
yeah, so that's everybody, that's architecture, mechanical, plumbing, and structural engineering. They do all that, and that's us getting everything through the city, through the state, and then helping the contractor through the entire project. Really well. So, yeah, we definitely
Especially
want it to be
like-
off your worry, we'll take care of all that, so.
That's good.
Okay.
Kinda high.
It is, I agree, it is been high, and once all the numbers started coming together, I was thinking, wow, this is a lot higher than I thought it would be.
No one had a heart attack.
I do know CPR, yeah,
That's part of the saving money.
yeah. And again, so that's why I made it a not to exceed number, and so if we don't realize that
Yeah.
number, we're definitely, we'd rather see it go into the construction, so. We'll do our best to not get to that number. Okay. All the way, I'm ready. Next is the schedule. And so, as we had talked about, we wanted to start it in the fall or try to get it moving in this fall, and so that we could do towards. I got.
You know Linda Block, county planner,
I know.
yeah. it's not crazy.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
sorry, nice to meet you. So what we're trying to do is, we want to set up the bid in a good spot. And so right now contractors are really busy, they're gonna be busy, supposed to have a nice winter. From what's been projected, and so they're gonna be working probably clear up into December. And so we're trying to get this set so that when they're done outside, they'll move right into this project. And kind of along the same lines as what we've done with our proposal, we want to try and move that up, so we're gonna try and escalate that delivery time. It'd be nice to get it to bid before Christmas. Would be the plan. Right now, the way it's in there, I think if I remember right, it's a little after Christmas, or right after Christmas that we've got it scheduled right now, but I just visited with the design team this morning, we're gonna try and push that. And get it to bid in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that gives the contractors good time to get everything ready, and then after the first of the year, jump on it.
It seemed like people are interested, yeah.
Yep. Yep, yeah, we've got visited with one individual for sure that's very interested. I know Dave's interested in at least part of it. And so, for sure, we've got that opportunity. Yeah. And it's a great place to work. And it's nice and warm. So it'll be appealing.
Do we charge you for the heat bill?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so the contractors, they'd rather be outside in the summer, so now would not be the time to be building it. It costs more. And so now what we want to do is do it through the winter. And then kind of and I guessed about 150 days. That's if we can get everything that we order here.
Good luck.
Yeah, and so if there's any high electrical stuff, like say a new transformer, getting something just a boost for the elevator equipment itself, that might delay us a little bit. We're seeing that time to time.
Yeah.
So, but we're hoping to get everything in. So I figured 150 days, hopefully it might be closer to 120 if everything is in place. So,
It'd be nice.
yeah.
So I encourage you to do a motion on approving
Are we ready for
The
it?
proposal.
Study has more. Study.
Well, yeah, I've got drawings too, I'll show you, but however you want
I
to.
got that.
I do that
I was
separate
waiting.
and, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I didn't know. I thought
Okay.
he
You
had
want to see
more
this
stuff,
one?
that's why I did. Well, I'd entertain a motion then on this part.
Entertain ways, no. I will make a motion. Are we accepting his proposal?
Yep.
99,160. And the project,
I'd say, his August 14th, 2023 fee proposal accepted.
okay,
All right.
That's the motion.
Yeah.
A second.
Public comment? No.
no, that's, no.
Being none, all in favor?
Um,
Carried back.
Thank you. I think I gave you the outside one, I apologize, somewhere
Yeah, there's the sign one.
I'll give you that one. You know, it's. That one. Do you want a copy? They're off the side.
Okay. You can just put approved on the bottom there, it's not signing. or for good traveler.
Yay, elevators.
Long time, hasn't it? In the head, anyway.
Make you. Up here.
Or even just getting me one.
Right, big dress, sorry. Block to do that.
I don't do all that paper.
Is it white, and I- So just getting started, this will be the cover sheet or any cover sheet, so not much to get going on there. So just looking at demolition, so kind of as we had talked about, and remember, we had walked and talked as well as we moved through the building. But starting on the basement plan, just talking about taking this area out. We'll leave the windows in. And the idea is that behind the window, we'll build a false wall and black. Black, and so we're not impacting the exterior at all of the courthouse. One of the steps here is we'll get a peek around also from the State Historic Preservation Office, make sure we're okay with, again. With their, creating a shaftway through, so if you remember again, we had a cutout here and we were trying to get also a quarter turned in, and so that's gone by the wayside, so this will just be a shaft wall. As it comes through that floor.
There won't be no loading on that floor.
Nope, so what we're really good with is that this transfers down into the basement. And then we have these vaults next to there too, so we've got a great solid concrete wall right next to it. And then this is also all the way up, a shear wall that's going through. And so we picked a great spot for it. At least until we start flinging hammers and get into it, we'll see, but it should be good. Engineers are really comfortable with it. So that's the spot. So then we get to the second floor. Here, so I'll go to the very top. So this is the jury room. So we're up here. Do a little bit of massaging right here for that. We've got next sheet will show us the corridor. Cut this open, and also cut the roof open up above, and so we've got like a hoist way. That can be done as well. And then, of course, a little bit of demolition to create a new ADA bathroom up there. But here on this level of main, this is where the most time is going to be for the contractors. And so starting in the women's restroom, we're taking this out, the toilet now, but we're going to reuse that flange, and so we'll still make that a toilet stall. But the sink digital way, simply on that side. And the same with the men's. So a little bit more investigation of the raised platform. Some of it might be in order to raise the entry, why that was done. But we think most of it is just probably related to that men's big urinal. Yeah, yeah, and so once we peel that back, we'll be able to see for sure what's happening. If we have to make some adjustments, we will. So it'll be just a game day once all that comes out. And then over to the judge's chambers and that judge's bathroom. So that comes out so that the elevator can continue to come up to the jury room up above.
What do you think, Linda?
I mean, I don't have a problem, this is me. Right in the middle of the construction.
Yeah.
So I just have more of a concern with them making sure that I can get to my office. and-
Yep. Absolutely. Because Linda, let's go to the next sheet and we can talk through that because they can definitely. Can definitely provide that. Oh, anyway, just this is the ceilings, and so we're just taking out the ceilings to show that we've got a contractor doing that as well. So pretty simple. We've got all gyp ceiling going back in, so nothing lay in per se, just to retain that character. Okay, and so we left the colors on, just makes it easier to look at the different locations. Let's just go all the way downstairs. So here we've got the elevator going in, so we'll have a 5-foot pit, so they'll dig the pit down, which should not be an issue around here. And so they're gonna get that pit down. This we'll use as a mechanical room. The one that we have is our basis of design. It's a Kone elevator. Doesn't take much of a mechanical room, so we should be fine to do this. We'll visit with them. Of course, as you know, we have to call it a basis of design. We need to allow any of the other manufacturers to also submit on it. We've got a little corridor. We've added a door here and then out to this corridor as well. And so we've got a protected opening. And then the public health office. Still, it's about 9 by 12 or 13, I think. So a little bit smaller than what they're used to, but still a good sized office. As the elevator rides up, so again, it comes up to, and this is the sheriff's door, with the back stair up to the courtroom. And so, if you are bringing detainees over, they would come in here. If they have to come in the elevator, they can come in here, if they can make up the stairs and then up to the courtroom. Or they have to come all the way around if they are in a wheelchair. And then moving over to this level, we'll start with the women's restroom. So again, here's your existing toilet. There's a sink tucked in right here. So kind of a little bit of a conundrum with these two doors, swing doors. We did swing this one out and just concerned at some point, maybe one time in every 327, that somebody's in there at the same thing and the doors could hit. And so we did swing this one in. And we'll just have to test fit that to see if there's enough room to step by the door as someone shuts it. We'll work on that. This is your dedicated ADA stall here. So we've got 2 toilets in the women's and 2 sinks. And then a nice little janitor closet that's got a mop sink. So that sink is just got a lip about this high on the floor, so it's easy to dump buckets in. And then a storage room. And it's probably one of the nicest storage rooms in Montana. It's got this nice big window in it. But it could be something else. So it's just kind of leftover space. Maybe you need.
Oh, I
We
think
could cut
I'm
it
gonna
out.
fight just to get a couple of little file cabinets.
That's easy.
You get first pick.
Yeah, she's got this, you can have this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the existing janitor spot we're not touching, so that'll just stay as is. So originally, if you remember back, we talked about providing plumbing in here and the sink, but we've since moved it over here, which makes more sense as our water.
Kind of keep it congested over there.
Right. Yep. So back to your question about
Mhm.
access during construction, yes, the contractors will have to allow that for you.
Okay,
Or if there's another temporary spot you could go for a couple of weeks, you may have to,
okay.
or something. But
Is
yeah,
there a
they'll have to
chance,
be-
now this is just that, is there something like you're gonna work at home for? a couple
Yeah,
weeks?
and I did put in for a request to get a laptop so that I could do work at home when
Okay.
there's critical times.
Cause going through some of this con, it's gonna be loud. so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have your phones forwarded and laptop and get everything done.
Good with me.
Good, okay, so across the way now, remember this floor is gone, so it's just a straight step across, so there's no stepping ladders, you're just a straight line. We've got 1 sink here, and then we've got 2 urinals and a new toilet. So kind of just using those same spots again, it's there. And then on the back side of that, we've got the judge's restroom, which it does not connect directly to the judge's chambers, we just could not get them an opportunity on the elevator.
He's talked with him extensively, he's fine with it.
Okay.
The keypad lock would be good.
Yeah.
But the, you know, so the
Not
keypad.
gonna
would be-
give him a bucket.
We're not being recorded. Oh, you know, you're just.
Yeah.
Good.
So then this is an opening, so this would be a framed opening into this vestibule here. It gets into the judge's restroom and then to a little storage room as well. So just using that space out, and then you've got your existing bookshelf. that's untouched up there. So then as we move upstairs, top level, the jury room. Elevator comes up, this is our new corridor, into, this main corridor that's over here now. The jury room got a little smaller, as you remember, it's all of this right now. And so, but still,
Yeah.
a good size to it.
Huge anyway.
Yeah,
Gotta give to get.
right. Yeah, and then so then we've got a new ADA restroom upstairs in that same place as existing. We just had to increase the size a little bit, went into that file room. There is a door right here that fits into this little storage closet. It got really tight when we had to move that, so we just took the door off and just left it as a framed opening.
Yeah.
For that, and hopefully that's all right.
Commission may wanna consider that as like. Do 3 beds, elevator, bathroom on the second floor, and then this is a different one, but it's up to you just from. Cost standpoint, where you could. To bid them out, all the bathroom on the second floor. Bid it out different than separately than the elevator, than this, just from the standpoint of cost. Cause it might be that you're limited in cost and would do this at a.
But then does that interfere with what they've already planned and studied, or?
I guess
That,
that's the question.
I don't
So,
want
a
cross,
couple-
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got it, let's do it, let's.
Yeah.
I
let's
just
get
don't
it-
keep
get it
one
done,
person
yeah.
to do it, but then we don't have people compete against each other trying to
Yeah.
get work.
Yeah.
They're already here, and
Yeah.
So
I
a
just
couple
don't-
thoughts on what is being discussed here is that this could be an additive alternate. And so the only issue with that could be because you've provided ADA restrooms elsewhere in the building. Is that if someone is sequestered in the jury, imagine that like to keep them up here. They would have to get an elevator and ride that down to this level.
Yeah.
Versus here, they
Yeah.
could just go right in.
I just think we're gonna do, we need to do it all with one
Yeah.
thing, and then we're not having, yeah.
And you have interested parties?
Yes. Yep. Very interesting.
I just have a question. I thought they were gonna do the yellow storage there, over here, this one. Like running this way and the judge's bathroom running that way. Cause she's
I
got
think
all
we-
that,
I think we changed though to do the plumbing. to
Yeah.
be in there.
Yes.
so are they just gonna run all of her cords for state?
Yes, the
Computers
CG, or
through
not,
there?
was it not CG, but just the state computer.
Cause it'd save us
Yeah.
a lot more money
to
by
do
just
all the
having the plumbing right so close
Yeah.
when we start.
Yeah.
Then you gotta go.
So
I think they found that wasn't that substantial,
Okay.
there, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, so that'll happen in this room.
So why does that one sink go on that wall? Just a question.
Like that.
Well,
That
that's,
one sink go on that
yeah,
wall?
and that's where, it just fit the best, and so we could maybe drop 1 euro and put it over here. As well, and so we'll look.
I
at
was
that.
just wondering, it's a weird sink out.
Yeah. Remember.
Yeah, why do you have to have 2 urinals? With one guy?
Just the
Oh.
jury, I would say. for
Just the jury thing,
trial.
yeah.
Jury-
That's right.
Well, that and boys or girls.
Looking good, and nice to see it now starting to come.
Yeah.
It's looking a lot, you know, like I can
Yeah,
see what it is now.
so just again, improving that, and so we're just getting going on this, improving that parking, making that.
Not right down here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, last time we were together, we talked about would the city be okay with us taking this?
Yeah.
We never went anywhere with that. I don't know if you still wanna pursue that or,
Well, I'm worried though, you start cutting in here with this bank and that, I think we better just keep it over here.
yeah,
Like, that's my me, I don't know, cause you start cutting in there and then we just put in a new fence.
yeah,
This is for one spot though, or?
yeah.
So-
We'll see what we can do to get
Okay.
a couple in here.
And if they had to, they can park, we can always, you know, especially if you
Yeah.
have something, they can park here in the road, I mean.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So that area can only do one?
That's
Yeah.
Pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, so we have to have a van accessible, which is at least a 9-foot wide stall and then an 8-foot wide, accessible.
I'm just afraid we go in here, start cutting and digging, that we're gonna be, and then, yeah.
Yeah, keep it simple.
So, this just back to ceilings, right now, there's really not a lot to show, but just. Looking at, it's all gonna be gyp, ceiling, so basically we won't have a lay-in tile. In there, we can if you want, but we thought we would just stay with the regular gypsum wood ceilings on, just for that character. So it's a little louder. I don't know if that's a concern, sometimes in bathrooms it is, but.
It's a little what,
Louder,
louder.
yeah.
Excellent.
Not a lot of traffic up there, I mean, jury trial days, but. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't see a lot of. Okay. Your thoughts on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not booming.
So jumping up to the roof, I talked about, we'll cut a hole in the roof. And that'll pop through, so that we have to have a hoistway, so basically what that means is from ground level of this floor below it, so the jury room floor. I think this elevator is just about 12 foot. And the reason is they need to be able to work on the elevator, they'll hoist it up out of the way or bring it in. So it gets to be a
Room to get under it and stuff. in case
Yep.
they're-
Yeah, and so that does bring us through the roof system of the courthouse, and what we've done is. And I'll show it to you, your page is coming up, but we put a very low slope roof on, we got it just as high as we can, because we're trying to make it really unnoticeable. As much as possible,
Well, there's, what is there, 3 foot wall up there, so we should be all right.
yeah, and so we're using that behind the pediment that's like on that north side, and so we're trying to tuck it in behind there. We'll have to have a conversation with the State Historic Preservation Office and just make sure they're okay with it.
As long as it ain't seen from the highway, I think that's all they have to worry about. Get these
Well,
out.
Up in the ADA stuff. Trumps historic preservation, so I guess it's probably a reasonable standard there on what you can do.
Yeah. And so as you can see, we try to just make it as very minimal as possible. And we'll use, probably something that's this space brick color here or white. And try to make it go away so that the pediment will actually still get all the look.
How far away from the dome base is that, the elevator?
It's quite a ways.
Okay,
Yeah,
Right.
alright,
I bet you 6, 7 feet, that we use it, it's not that.
yeah, it's quite a bit bigger. So here's the dome base here with the dome.
okay,
Right.
Yeah.
12.
And so we're.
Oh, okay.
We're good fair distance
yeah,
away.
okay.
No, I see what. I think.
Yeah. The new part, yeah.
And then we just wanted to also just show you some sections. As well, just to kind of give you an idea of it all the way through. So here's our pit that we have to have. And then first floor. Well, basement, first floor coming up, and then second and our top level. As well. And so we'll have each level laid out and cross section there, so we're just getting moving on that side of it.
What floor will the project likely start on?
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, because they'll start digging that pit out first time, yeah, and then there'll probably, there'll be times it'll happen all at the same time too,
Okay.
yeah.
You have this as a like PDF, you can.
Sure
send.
can.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Yeah, I can call Seth here on the way out and he can fire. it.
Alright, so,
Yeah,
I understand a lot better.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
that's
seeing
really
it
good.
now the way it
Yeah.
actually, I kind of understood, but they're now like, yeah, looks good, good job.
thank you. And so we thought this would be just a cool way to show it to this axon perspective cut. That shows the whole shaft way coming through. So here's the dome, you can see. Just as it goes through.
Maybe when you put that thing in with, we could put a flagpole on top of it, that'll help it too.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't
just-
get one back up on it. Can't get two.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And then this is the beginning of just the restroom elevations, so each of the women's and then the judge and the men's.
Where would you put the sink?
Which one is it?
Yeah, yeah, well, we might be able to get rid of one urinal. And put the sink there.
Why are you?
We're-
putting on that? What do you have against me?
I was just wondering why.
Like
you
I get
put
two
those-
urinals. So, yeah.
I think it looks really good. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, so within the next couple of weeks, we're hoping to get engineers back in, spend a little more time, probably the full day, just really going through and getting their documentation.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Starting to come through finally. Well, it's been a long time. Started before I was looking at it.
Really?
So projected plan would be August 24th or August 1st, 2024 for a final acceptance.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah,
my-
projected.
Yeah. And so I just don't know. Until we get deeper into it and the contractors get a chance to look at it.
Yeah, it's all,
Great, public comment on that? No, good job. Well, explained.
Thank you. And I will leave these for you. This is your record.
Lovely.
So,
I have some rubber band, I don't know why I feel like I'm here, but I did.
kind of off, but you might want to just. read it.
So on this, we approved this
Yeah.
99,160. Do we cut him a check?
Oh, no, I'll get you an invoice as we progress. So, yeah, we just do.
We want to work before we pay them.
Oh,
well, you got a lot, you got some desire for me to pay them.
I'm not gonna ask him once in a while. He's nice, but not that bad.
Would you like a motion today on the plans, or you got more changes you want?
No, we're good. And so what we'll do, and I should talk
Well, I
about
think
that.
because he said he's having them come back
Yeah,
in, they're
yeah,
looking at their stuff, we don't wanna make a motion, then I have to go back and redo it, and then.
Yeah.
Right.
Just gotta wait till everything's
Right.
right now, down.
Yeah, exactly. And if I can call your attention back to the schedule, you'll see that there's a schematic design phase, design development. And the construction documents. And so what we'll do is at each one of those phases. We'll send the documents to you. Give you a few days to look at it, and then I'll come back and we'll do what's called a page turn. And we'll flip, just as we did today, each page and say, here's what we're doing.
Okay.
And at that point, then as we call like the sign off.
Cause it'll be a week, you know, it won't be a couple days, but we'll have to look, you get it here and then we'll look at it and make sure we get on the agenda for the next week, so.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, and so I would say that page turn is probably gonna take about an hour. Just to go through it, just flip each sheet and just talk through everything. That way you're up to speed on the project as we go. Okay.
Any other questions or anything? Pretty excited.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a long time coming. Thanks for all your help.
absolutely. I did run off, so this is the elevator that we planned it around. Based on, we just had a conversation with Coney, and there's Otis out there too, there's other firms, but. We were recently working with Coney, and so we just said, hey, we're doing this, can you help? And they did. And so I'll leave this.
I think it's a better thing, cause you know, and not you start going to
Yeah.
somebody else and you're not quite sure that you know, spend a lot more time asking, this way, you're a way to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
repair people around
Yep.
here, right? Yeah,
Yep.
so that's, don't have to come from
Right.
New York City.
Right, yeah, yeah, so Coney has guys in Helena, guys in Butte. I'm sure Missoula, I didn't ask him about that.
No, looks good. I don't know of anything else. I guess we just wait and see. Keep moving ahead.
Yep.
Get us heads we put on the gym and.
Yep.
Before our Thursday, and we have it next week.
Okay. We all stay in contact with Bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm still, I don't know what you guys thought, but I just wouldn't do it as one thing. I don't want to start breaking it up, trying to do this a little bit. Somebody else do this, and then they gotta work around these guys. I just.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it as.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, one general contractor will then outsource.
Yeah.
Everything that's needed.
Otherwise, I just interfere with each other and I just.
I agree.
You good with that, Chuck?
Yep.
All right, well, other than that, I guess we can adjourn for lunch.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
All righty, well, we'll go ahead right into the public hearing on the road abandonment of portions of Cedar Street alleyway in block 15 in platted unincorporated townsite of Matchville.
And the petitioner Gage is actually on Zoom. And so I gave him co-host abilities so he can mute and unmute as you need him to.
What's the deal?
Oh. I thought this one was more plain, but this is the petition to abandon that little portion of road and alley. It's over kind of paralleling the highway almost. Yeah, I think you got Hans's report there and
The
It
original
doesn't.
petition.
show it as well. In online, it was colored. It was a lot easier to see.
Oh, yeah, I think I have the
But
original.
And Hanson, I went and looked at it, and he's got this in his notes. And, I see no reason not to, it's pretty landlocked.
Agreed.
Make a motion, we abandon
And
I
I,
second it.
Public comment? Being none,
Just
all in
between
favor?
Gage and I, the only two, and Gage asked me yesterday, he said he'd come over, he said he couldn't make it, he had grandmother died or something or other, so,
You guys are okay with it?
oh, yeah, we both for it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion to carry that.
and I think there's a resolution that you're gonna have to do, right?
Yep, the resolution will be on next week for first reading
Okay,
to abandon it.
that was one of the easiest ones, wasn't it?
There you go. You can be the opposition to it, because there's nobody involved except Gage and I, we both agreed to it 100%.
All righty. That sounds good.
You wanna stick around for any theatrical things or future?
All right, great. Jump
Thanks
right
for
into
your-
it.
Nice afternoon. We'll catch you later.
Thanks.
All right, take your time.
Yeah, we,
Goodbye. Family transfer policy update.
so you should have a copy of it. If you don't have a copy, I can give you, but, so in the state law, part of one of the exemptions you can use to break a piece of property is a family transfer. And the state legislature made changes to that portion of the law this year, so we had to bring our policy into compliance with what they said. And so the biggest change that probably came this year from that legislative session was that they can now do a family transfer in a subdivision. So prior to this, if the property had been created in a subdivision, you could not split it through a family transfer. You had to go back and do another subdivision to split your property. This new change to the state law allows you now to just do a family transfer to split property. So when the planning board, they also put a hard time limit on it. So we had a 3-year time limit on it. The state law now says that 2 years is the amount that it has to be kept unless the county puts lowers that restriction. So we actually had 2 timeframes. We had a 3-year timeframe on the creative parcel. And then we have a no timeframe for the parent parcel, for the remainder parcel. When the planning board heard this, they said that there's, that they feel like they're seeing too much evasion from people because they're just being able to sell those parent parcels right away. So they recommend that the parent parcel be kept for a year And that the created parcel be kept for 2 years, so they're still lowering that amount. That the parent parcel has to be kept, but they're saying it should be kept for at least some time. So that people aren't just using it to straight evade.
So state statute, does that say that the parent parcel you will keep for a year, or can you?
State statute says you will keep everything for 2 years, but the counties can amend it lower if they
Okay.
want.
So before we had it, you could sell the parent parcel right
Right
away.
away, right,
Okay, and now the planning board wants to do it have them keep it for a year,
right,
which is lowering what the state statute says.
right, so the creative parcel would have to be kept the state minimum, but the parent parcel would be kept a year.
Do we have to accept this?
You do not have to accept that year policy, but if you don't do anything, state statute just falls into place and it's 2 years.
Then it's 2 years.
So the
instead of
state's
lower.
already adopted the law. This is our policies
Well, it seemed to
amending.
me, I kind of remember them talking about this,
Mhm.
and they're going against our covenants. Our covenants say you cannot subdivide that.
Oh, and that, let me get to that, cause our, down here, cause this was one of the things that came out in. And I talked with Blaine quite a bit, I talked to the Mako attorneys quite a bit about this. And so under 10, where it talks about platted subdivisions. If you have covenants that say you can't break it any further, you can't break it any further, whether it is a family transfer or not, it doesn't matter.
That's state law,
Yeah,
so
that's state
you
law,
can't mess with that.
so,
So
and-
state law, but then if you have covenants, you can't do it.
I'm saying the state law says those covenants are gonna
yeah.
Are good.
supersede,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're actually in a pretty good position in the county because we require that for almost every subdivision. We require some kind of language we put in as to how much it can further be broken, or if it can't be broken at all anymore. So almost all of our subdivisions have some kind of statement on them. But I've gotten a fair amount of people calling and saying, well, yeah, but I wanna break mine under, and it's like, no, you're not gonna be able to. You can approach the commissioners to take that off. But my recommendation would be no on taking those off. They were put into place for a reason. So it doesn't take out any covenants, it's just the policy for pieces that have no covenants associated.
Okay, so the planning board is recommending that we lower the 2 year for the parent parcel to 1 year.
Right.
Okay.
There's also one instance in the county where there's some litigation as part of settlement, they're they would be different than this,
Mhm.
and that would be part of basically a court settlement, so that would not,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's in here somewhere that you can, let me just, it's on the second page. So, yeah, number 11 says that you can offer a modification from those timeframes. If somebody comes in with a true hardship. And then that's like what
Yeah.
Blaine's talking about is the court ordering. A division and then settlement, that's a hardship that they really can't get out of, they need time limit adjusted.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back, so if we
Mhm.
didn't do anything, it would be 2 years?
It's 2 years for
Why
everything.
don't we just leave it at 2 years?
Well, it's been at 2 years in the past. In the past, we've had times where we've required everything to be kept 2 years. And the planning board recommended changing it and the commission changed it because they felt like they were punishing people for using an exemption that people could use in state law. By making them keep both parcels, they were effectively taking away the saleable rights from both parcels because you used the exemption. And so they didn't feel that was fair, they felt like the created parcel by all means should be kept for the 2 years.
Yeah.
But that a house, if people had a house sitting there. That they should be able to sell their house regardless of whether they used an exemption. within the last 2 years or not.
I agree with the planning board on lowering the parent parcel. Simply because it's the parent parcel and should. Okay, so they created another family transfer parcel, should they wanna sell their home? They shouldn't have to wait 2 years to sell their home.
What the planning board's saying is people are playing games with
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And not just doing it for the true purpose is to convey it to your kids and
Yes.
family, not to make
Yes.
money off of it. Is
Yes.
what the intent behind the
Yeah.
statute was. I'm not telling you which way to vote. I'm just saying where the planning board is coming from.
So if they're playing games with it, won't they play more games with it now?
Well, they were playing games with it, cause right now it said it's 0, you don't have to keep it a day. Past
So-
the,
In 1 year's. Really not, not that substantial, but yeah, up to you.
Yeah, before it wasn't, I mean, just being historically in the clerk of recorder's office and watching these family transfers come of record. And it wasn't the parent parcel that was the one that was getting sold, it was the created parcel that we were wanting them to hold on to because they created it and then the family member was selling it right away. And it was definitely evading subdivision regulations.
So that's still gonna be 2 years then for the created?
The
that's
created
still 2
ones, 2
years.
years.
So we don't,
I would make a motion that we accept the amended Granite County Family Transfer Policy.
Well, sorry.
any public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye, motion carried and passed,
All right, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
The next one's,
Do you need them to sign it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, they probably should sign one. Yeah, I did need you to sign one.
Couple of them.
Yeah,
That's not scan.
Maybe you just email it to me. I don't do
Okay.
the paper.
we know we're doing the pad, but,
There's 2 people I think out here for the
oh. Okay.
the abandonment.
Okay.
hearing.
We'll get 'em.
I can, if you want. There it's here.
oh, wait, huh?
You might have more people. That would come.
The time because.
Yeah, they're out there,
Yeah, no, but Gillian is.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
So those plans. Yeah, the elevator.
Mm-hmm,
They're always interesting.
very exciting.
I think they should have came up to you with the mail.
I
You're
was thinking
safe.
to myself, I was thinking, oh, I would like a proper ceiling put in my office.
I bet you would, after that water came through this
Yeah,
spring.
and I get flies to it a lot.
Oh,
It's like, I just look, it's like, can we add that? Change order before we start?
I don't see where they went.
Oh, thank you.
were they here for the Cedar Street, do you think?
Yeah.
They already were in here, they did it really, it
Oh,
went
you already
really
did
quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
they approved of it in resolution next week.
Okay, the only thing I was gonna ask you to put in your motion that reserve those easements? Did you do that in your motion?
No,
If you, could you modify your motion
No,
to in the abandonment petition, to reserve all easements of record?
may I modify my motion? For the abandonment of portions of Cedar Street alleyway in block 15 to keep the easements existing in
Reserve them.
reserve easements that are existing in the unincorporated town site of Maxville,
I'm good.
wherever
Yeah.
those easements may be in the surrounding area of the portions of Cedar
Yeah.
Street.
They're actually
alleyway in block 15.
the one step forward, and I think it's resolution 2018
Yeah, there's.
15, but there may be some others.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Oh, second. Public comment? Means none, all in favor? Okay.
All right.
wouldn't that be a parent, or do you have to make sure that you?
Hans was wanting that, and I think that's a good idea, so that just doesn't go away there. I think that would it'd probably be a legal battle sometime if we didn't. But then I'll draft the resolution. Well, I've already drafted, so I can be on for next.
Hey. Heard no more on a plane hitting a deer, and you seen.
no, I haven't heard anything.
So like they have the easement on roll 77, page 575.
So I put that in that language in the resolution.
Got that language in
Linda's already looked at it. I'll send it to Bill.
there. Our expert. Our expert where sinks should be. But here's the thing, look. Here's the thing. If no one's up there, you can go walk around there and wash your little handies any old time you feel like it.
That's true. I go in there if I want to anyway.
Or, but then
Yeah.
you can go into the utility room and have a raised sink and wash your little hands.
Yeah, that would be nice for them,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that would
have
be,
that.
that would, yeah.
cause
Right
they're
now,
always
it's
in
just
there
in that corner and
Yeah.
everything, it's like,
weird.
that's really, it's bad looking and not very fun, yeah.
Yeah. Plus the clerks always have to go in there for coffee to dump their
Oh, did
big
they?
coffee pots and
Oh,
fill them
did
up
they?
with for
Okay.
hours.
Oh,
So
That's
those,
where they feel it.
those shelves that are right there, the locked cupboard doors that are right there are gonna go away. And there's gonna be storage there so that the clerk of court will, you know what I'm talking about?
Where the books are.
So then the storage that's gonna be there can be your storage, right?
Yeah,
I think that she'll probably I only need space for a couple of file cabinets. I don't need much space.
both
And they
Linda
have,
and me
like-
have stuff in those
Yeah.
cupboards though, so y'all need some.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, the cupboards go.
So how big is it? How is it gonna be
That
big?
storage is gonna be big.
Yeah,
So
it's
it'd
a
be,
pretty good size.
With a window,
yeah, I mean, it could actually be an office,
yeah, it could be an
I
office.
could be
yeah.
your office buddy on Sunday.
yeah. But
If
yeah,
you ever get so busy, you need a secretary, you can shove her in there.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
closet,
The storage
we
is-
just want to tell her.
this is not a storage closet, it's an office. No, it looks-
You have a window.
No, it looks like, I just didn't see the exact measurement, but it looked like a pretty good sized storage.
At the
Yeah.
ranch at Rock Creek, our offices were so tiny and they were in the basement. They had no windows, like they were like
Dark
were-
and
dark and tiny.
Cubicles.
cool in the summer though.
Yeah, cool in the summer, but tiny and dark. You had no idea what time it was.
I
That was the trick.
I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out if they got the offices switched around in the basement for the public health and the JP.
JP is now fully functional in the new.
Yeah, I know, but
with
did
the-
he get it on paper
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I think so.
where it was,
oh, the change,
yeah. I was trying to go, has this been,
Oh, they're really big. Here it is, on page.
this?
First basement. Oh, he didn't.
You're not playing hitting that deer? We figure
So
that
there's
insurance is gonna be
the
$1 million.
stairs. Wow. That's an
Oh,
expensive
no,
deer.
and I was asking, I assume the
this
county doesn't have
is
liability because it's
what
customary that there's gonna be,
Yeah.
it's you're
And now
foreseeable that
this
there's
is-
gonna be animals on
We have to
the city.
replace that homeowner.
So, oh, and this is that one, wow.
Oh, wow.
That-
The county crew went with the, I think, roughed it up. There's a lot. of
Where
pieces
is
of-
the driver's license office?
Did it, was it up
It's
front,
not in
right?
this picture,
Like
it's
up front?
over where public
Up,
health
I don't-
used
I
to be,
think,
it would
yeah.
be like over here.
Was that front prop point,
Was it what?
like a prop on the front, yeah, so,
Yeah, he used probably
Yeah,
a
they have
bazillion pieces.
Or do they?
yeah.
No, they just took pictures of the
Beautiful,
side
yeah.
of the gallery.
Yeah, he probably didn't feel nothing though.
I was just curious. I don't know that.
Um,
Fun house somewhere.
So he only refers to one easement at Rule 77 of these parts of the town. Is there more?
And I just had language there, like.
All, yeah.
For you.
Yeah. All easements. All easements, really.
I'll use this.
A parent or a brother.
Were they coming in, Corey and Shauna?
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Who is it?
Gelatich?
Oh. And that,
Not to my knowledge.
140.
oh,
One quote.
I'll come back then. Unless you're gonna speed things up,
23.
Can we?
yeah, you can, if you'd like,
What's that?
if you wanna. Speed it up on the agenda, you can, but it's up to you.
Go ahead now that we're caught up in it.
Well, someone from Snook Trail might be. Might be more people interested. And come on at 140 if we've already started it. I'm saying, just saying. Just saying.
Alright, I'll come back.
All right. Are you guys taking a break then, or staying on, or what are you doing?
No, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, just saying.
Okay, we're back on and it's on the. We're gonna go into the response to the request to abandon Snook Trail south from Corey and Shauna Gelatich, discussion decision. We have letters here from BlackRiverSleds.com, Chris. It's an express my strong disapproval of the request to abandon Snook Trail south of Corey and Gelatich. The next one from Ingrid Johnson. I don't know how to say the last name. That's on Snook Trail. And this one's saying that they'd like to attend the meeting, but in case, however, I'd like to comment. It's pretty much saying it's a historic road, been a public road, and should remain so. This is their people saying that they want the road left as is. And you have a letter to.
Is Linda gonna be here for this?
I don't know if she is, but she did help write the letter.
This is the letter to Corey and Shana.
Hello, peoples.
So. Well, thank you, young lady.
You're welcome.
Hey. Anyway, this is a letter to form the Granite County Board of Commissioners received a request petition of the further. And Linda helped write this letter. Have you read this letter yet?
Is that the one where it says,
For safety and that, they need to leave it. We waiting for Blaine, he had something he wanted to say on this, or
I don't know.
just. Sounds to me like they need to leave it as it was,
Yeah,
to get, with the safety and where it's been.
and he's seen the letter too. It was
Well,
a,
here's my question,
Right.
shouldn't it, the second paragraph be the first paragraph? It's not a county road.
hold on, I have too many
I mean, that
things open.
first and foremost is one of the reasons that we can't abandon it because it's not a county road.
yeah,
Hold on, let me find,
So,
I can
Would you-
find.
Instead of saying, well, there's multiple reasons. The petition is not complete. The petition must include 10 signatures. I would say first and foremost, it's not a county road. And it's in a subdivision.
so you want to change the letter?
Well, I think
So take the first and second.
you see,
reason
the
and
second
swap them.
paragraph should be first because it's not a county road. See what I mean?
Mhm. Hold on 1 second, let me move that page.
Do you want
I mean, the first paragraph should be that the most important reason is that the requested road, Snook Trail South, is not a county road.
we get
Snook
it.
Trail South is a required subdivision road. The Ham Ranch gets. State law requires that the local county government ensure access to all subdivision lots. And that health and safety concerns have been addressed during the subdivision process. One paragraph. Then go in and explain the other.
And then the second, yeah, I just swapped the reasons, okay.
I mean,
just did
that right there, at the end of that process should be one paragraph. And then go into the other ones.
Okay.
You want to change it, redo it, and then sign it that
Yeah.
way?
Hold on.
I think that first and foremost is the most important reason and should be the first reason.
Okay, let me print it, and you can see it.
Are you doing private business during public time? Kellen. You're not, I mean. Where's that one paragraph with 10 signatures is that in there?
Yes, I just moved it to the second or to after the long paragraph. I just swapped them.
Better.
That makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Need a motion to sign a letter.
Have you all good with it?
I just made it.
Okay.
I
Second it.
second it.
Public comment? Means none, all in favor?
Aye.
Be careful. Okay. This is a response to correspondence from Pat Milligan. Milligan.
And this is a Linda letter, and here's the resolution that goes with it.
That was online, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
You could figure it later, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Entertain a motion that we send this letter to Pat Milligan.
I make a motion that we send a letter. What's his name?
Has a resolution and everything, right?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Milligan,
You do this, this.
with a
this.
copy of. the
We still won't
resolution.
do it.
Make a motion.
But they're do it right. I make a motion that we send a letter to Pat Milligan with an attached copy of resolution 2015-6. Informing him that regarding maintenance of non-county public roads within Granite County.
My second.
Public comment? None, all in favor? Okay, and you said granite or solid waste. Granite disposal is not coming,
Correct.
so we table that for next week.
On this letter really quick, Linda and I were talking, and is there a way we can get approval to send a lot of this basic letter language and resolution as kind of a canned response when we get requests like this from subdivision people wanting us to maintain county
Right.
roads?
Think you still have to bring it through so we can sign it now, but yeah, I like that, that's.
Okay.
Template,
Okay,
then that would, yeah, so we know for sure. Here she comes.
perfect.
Nobody for.
No, wait.
Hello, hello. We were just talking about the letter to Pat Milligan about Georgetown Lake and how lovely it is.
Back when you got a plan letter.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's. Man, we'll send it to them. Right.
Yeah,
Snook one, we just change the letter a little bit and send it then.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I have talked to this guy several times. But. He's unhappy that people are parking on the road and then walking across his property to get to the creek. It's like, well, you can fence your property. But
Anything else? Solid waste isn't coming in. Grant disposal, I mean.
oh, yeah.
Move, we adjourn.
So on the Granite County Solid Waste District policy update, so. What were you saying about? Someone found scales that could be used?
Blaine had some stuff, and he was gonna get it back to us, he found a couple spots that have scales. But then we gotta see what kind of trucks he has and that, see if they wouldn't fit on them or.
So you'd think if he had scales. You wouldn't have to have brand new trucks with scales on. There he is, he's coming back. So you said something about, or you mentioned scales for. Dump trucks? Or
So the-
solid waste trucks?
The way the draft policy you're already on for
Yeah.
the
just
solid waste.
start.
The so the week before I put in the policy that require the scales, and then last week after we talked about that co-op where you would. They could potentially have language in their invoice allowing for that co-op. I added the paragraph that said alternatively, in lieu of the scale requirements, they could do this co-op alternative with that language, and I added that language that they could put in their invoice. And then, but it still requires them to, any type garbage hauling business to provide the county with quarterly reports on the customers and their weights. And so the co-op idea does not get them around the reporting requirements, just but if they don't do the cooperative, then they have to do the scales as it reads right now.
And he's not coming in today, so.
He asked for that proposed language, so I actually put it in the policy. You want me to read you that section?
No,
It's 14A and B. It's a little complex, but I think it says what we wanted to say.
Okay, so when he brings in his quarterly report, is he bringing in a report of what he's marking down for each of his customers on what yardage they've used or what, how many pounds they've used?
He's giving the names of all his customers and their weights, but if they decide to do the co-op idea, then they would give the names and then the total weights averaged by the number of customers he has. So you know how many, so each customer is going to have that average.
That's
That
what
makes
you're doing
sense.
now.
Well, except
no.
for there, he's not providing it's putting in writing what he said he wanted to do, but he hasn't been providing the names of customers until he just did, and he hasn't been providing the total. Well, I guess the county would already have this total weights. So as long as the county has his total customer lists, then we know the county already knows his total weights. The county could average that. I mean,
Yeah, can't take an average, just some people taking way more.
but what he's saying is that if they're doing this cooperative, they're going to agree to pool all of their base units.
Give it to him.
And to share with amongst each other. Yeah.
So
And
they each one of them would have to go in and lose their 2,000 pounds then.
The only thing is though, if he's got, for example, 500 customers and they have, just putting out 20,000 pounds in that quarter, just as an example, you divide the 20,000 by 500 and you'd figure out by a quarter how much weight that each
You put that on theirs.
each cut, yeah, so that would be,
I wouldn't do that.
so
That wouldn't be fair if someone had 5 units and they had 5 units of garbage and one person had 1 unit.
Yeah,
But the one person is gonna pay the same for the 1 unit as the 5.
yeah,
unit
but
person.
if his customer won't do that, then he'll either have to do scale
Smoking.
windows open. He'll either have to do scales or
I know.
potentially lose a customer.
I know.
But one thing we do, that business customers are not part of this because they're on a separate, businesses are on separate units based upon the business. And so,
I didn't mean anybody in this. room.
yeah, it was something else.
There
But-
is a really old ashtray.
Yeah, so this is on him if he's losing customers because they don't want to be part of this pool deal. Then he might have to go to scales, then it'd be on him to do either or. But this way, at least his customers have noticed, because he's saying, well, we're doing this cooperative. Well, that's fine, if your customers don't understand what that cooperative is, then there's
Well,
a
how would they
problem.
when we don't?
Yeah,
He don't.
yeah,
So
so,
what he's doing now, Linda, is he's taking his dump truck and dumping it. And it just gets dumped in the dumpster and it goes to La La Land and goes to the dump. And no one's ever
Paid for.
credited
so you
what has
could,
gone in
yeah,
that
so there
dumpster.
could be some double dipping, so I'm, you know, Blaine Bratch as a customer of his.
Yeah.
So that he takes my weekly garbage and then I'm not being subtracted out from my base unit.
And you can go to the dump anytime and take garbage, and then that's where your dump stuff would be registered with the quicker or the
Yeah,
treasurer's
treasurer's office.
office.
So to me, the only fair way to do it was, my advice was require scales on the truck, so you know what each individual customer has for weight, because it's all by weight now. Well, he's saying, no, we want to do, this is a cooperative where all of our customers are pooling their base unit. That's, if they're agreeable to it, fine, but they should, number one, be agreeable to it. And then also the county's gotta have notice of who his customers are, or we can't, it won't ever know, be able to know what,
Really, we're not.
what should be
getting
charged.
My cooperative thing, not getting.
We're not.
But at least there won't be double dipping under the cooperative or the scale system.
No, we gotta go to wait, period. Sorry, that's the way it is.
Earlier today, when we reviewed the customer list, we noticed that a lot of the addresses up at the lake are all Anaconda Deer Lodge County too,
So they're not,
county
You
residents.
notice Anaconda addresses. is what it
Anaconda
is.
addresses,
Okay, everybody at the lake is Anaconda.
yeah,
everybody,
Everybody
but the,
has an
yeah,
Anaconda address.
address.
So when you go into the election office and they're at the lake,
Oh,
It's
but they're
Anaconda.
still county residents.
so that's.
Yeah,
can't-
We gotta, so we'll have to.
but he could
determine.
he could be doing garbage for people that are in Anaconda Deer Lodge County.
Well, he's
Yeah,
up
way
there.
that.
So,
Yeah, I just.
So that
So-
list has to be.
Gotta go to those
looked at
addresses, like I say, and get on Google
in the
Maps
treasurer's office to
Pick one
see
here
if
and
they're actually
Check.
and check it, see where it's at.
Well-
It'll show you where it's at.
residents of Grand.
can I see the draft policy? Cause I think it,
But trying to look at this mathematically, when he's throwing garbage in the dump. It's not getting registered, so I would think that more BFI's hauling. More garbage than we're accounting for my,
That's why we're struggling so much
Yeah.
with the tipping fees are
than
killing.
what we can account for with our units.
Cause when he takes it in there and dumps, and then we're getting charged 17,000 a month for tipping. And the people that he's hauling in are getting charged nothing, cause you look up on their thing and they're still zero.
Is there a paper trail
That's
on,
not right.
is there a paper trail on? When they come in and the people that do haul their own garbage. Is there a paper trail on how much garbage is actually hauled by those people that goes with BFI? That's what I don't get.
Well,
So let me know how much garbage is actually being hauled. Can we,
yeah, I think you have the total numbers. What I was gonna say about this policy, as this amended policy as written, it applies that exception on the cooperative, talks about those in Granite County. So if he's accepting, garbage, taking garbage from Anaconda Deer Lodge County, that would be outside that cooperative, and you'd have to have scales on those, as this is written. I mean, because he probably does have some customers in Anaconda Deer Lodge County.
Well, you can't take customers over there.
well, because they're going in our dumpster,
Can't do that.
huh?
No, they
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah,
No.
well, and I guess I shouldn't say that, that's a question, I mean, does he have any? Anaconda, cause the Anaconda Deer Lodge, do they have any type system?
Yeah, you can get Anaconda disposal to come pick it up, but you know, our fees are really low,
Yeah,
so.
Oh,
yeah.
so most
And
of
you
them are
can-
probably going then.
And you can
We
dump as
pay
much as you want.
$80 a year on our taxes and you can dump as much as you want. You can have it picked up, then you pay for the guy to come pick it up, but then you can go to Butte 50,000 times a year.
Yeah.
And you never get
Where
charged.
does it go then?
It
from-
all goes to Butte.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cause I know we have ours picked up and then we haul junk from our basement or whatever to the trash, to the Butte landfill all the time.
Yeah.
that's good.
Next week, we're just gonna have to figure out how this, this dumping, and then we don't have a clue, and people don't know if they have 2,000 pounds or 1 pound. I mean, we don't know, cause he can't keep tabs on who's he's hauling or what he's hauling. And then he dumps it, and then Allied comes in and takes it, we just pay for everything. That's why we can never get ahead, and you're paying 17,000 or 20,000 a month.
The policy as written though will protect the on the double dipping issue will protect you, but the issue is, yeah, do you wanna require scales on every truck? And also the scale requirement says attached to the truck or could be separate. You can have a separate bend scale. It could it doesn't have to be attached, actually hard physically attached to the truck, but it could be there's bins you can get that have scales, so they could dump it into this bin and weigh it and then put it in. That'd be extra time, but
So with him, okay, co-op would mean that everybody would lose their 2,000 pounds and it would go into the co-op, right?
yeah.
So if they went to the dump, they'd have pay.
Well, that would be an end of the fiscal year question, because you wouldn't know what your total weights were, average weights until the end of the fiscal year. And so then there would be potentially them being sent a bill.
And he's not gonna know either if he doesn't have scales.
Well, the county will know, talking to the Scott, he goes, then we'll, at the end of the fiscal year, we'll know what they've done. And also the attendants out there have the computer system so they can see what the people are at, but it's my understanding that what they do is just have them.
Not the people that are in the co-op.
No, but the attendants have that, the workers at the site have
Not the
that.
people in the co-op.
Yeah, no, but not the
Yes, the
customer.
ones that use their tax ID number, they. know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have a clue.
Yeah.
what-
Yeah,
How many
But-
pounds.
well, that's
he
what I'm
has
saying.
that he
The
picks up.
co-op, do you
He
lose
just
your
keeps-
2,000 pounds?
He just keeps dumping and dumping, we just keep.
Which they don't now, because he just dumps.
But it'll be on an average, so
Which
if
on
they
an
go,
average, if he brings in a list on an average and says. He's the one that should average it out, have the list and give this person, average out everybody,
yeah,
Cause we can't average it.
cause we
we're not-
can't average
It's
it.
his job,
It's his job,
I think.
average it, where if they wanted to go to the dump and they wanted to take a couch or something to the dump, they'd have every right to, because they still have pounds.
yeah, and that's how it fits on this, that would be consistent with this language in here,
But
that you have to
he's gotta
provide,
bring in.
yeah, that's consistent. The co-op doesn't get them out of all that
Yeah.
reporting,
Okay, that's what I didn't
Yeah.
understand.
You're picking it
Like
off.
what he said, sat right there and he said, I get their 2,000 pounds and they get to go to the dump and they have to pay for it. Is what he said.
He's kicking the ball back on us and no,
No, it
this
should-
is, he's got.
yeah, he's gotta do the averaging and provide that on a quarterly basis, reporting. And then we know, but the county's not gonna know if they're over potentially until the
Yeah.
end of the, but that's with.
And so
That's with
then-
that's with everything, even if they didn't use
Well,
his
his
services,
services
it'd still be.
start charging for the dumping, you know what I mean? He's gotta pay something to dump all that. Cause we're paying for
Does he pay anything? He doesn't, does he?
He's using that, yeah, he's basically informally using that cooperative right now, but. The issue with that is his customers haven't formally agreed to that, which they need to, and then there needs to be reporting.
So then would you guys send a list of like everybody in his co-op to the dump people and then if you're on the co-op, you don't get to dump?
So the clerk, Scott, all that information would be given to Scott, the clerk, and he would have that. Then my understanding is that they've gone over, they'd be billed, right? Isn't that the way it works
Well,
right
yeah,
now?
but how do they know if they're over?
Till the
They
end
won't
of the
tell
year.
you in the year,
Yeah.
when he finalizes, does it, the whole thing starts figuring what each person is. Then all of a sudden, somebody, it's just not fair, cause one person's dumping 500, another guy can be dumping 5,000.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not a good, I don't like that.
But you can require scales, this cooperative is just a thought, alternative thought, but it's not forced upon the commission. So this 14B could be, if you don't like that, then you don't have to agree to it.
I think once we get back in here, I mean, the scale thing's coming back more and more, we don't have no idea on who. And if that cooperative, not some poor little old lady, she has 20 pounds and then all of a sudden she's being hit for 1,500, cause that's what it all figured out at the end of the year. It was just.
But if they agree to it, then if they agree to that cooperative, it's fine, but I see what you're saying, that there's some inequities in it.
Not good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen online where they have bins with scales in them, so they could have that on the truck. They take that up, they dump
yeah.
or however they have it, dump their garbage into that bin, weigh it. It's a little more
Well,
time consuming.
those are his dumpsters, aren't they, that he has all over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are his dumpsters.
One thing about it is, the guy, if he had to put in a new bin, just where he dumps in, and that's the only place he can dump in. Then we know exactly when they take that out, that tipping fee of that bin. They take it, then we know exactly what he's done.
yeah,
Instead of mixing it with what people are paying for, and, I mean, he's mixing everything with everything. We see though, if we had another bin there where he could back in, and then hit that weight would be just to him.
That's an idea. Where he could
When
only
they
use.
tip and they just have certain bins and his names are on them, and when they haul them out, they would all grant disposal, and every month when we get the billing from Ella, we can say, oh, well, he had 100.
And apparently he only dumps in Drummond. From what somebody said.
I don't.
yeah, so we already know what his weights are because all those trucks go across the scales, correct? I mean,
But it's the weights though, and then still don't, yeah, I just,
what you guys are not saying you're not liking is the cooperative ideas.
I don't like that.
And Chuck doesn't like it, so that would mean
Well, it's
14B
not,
would be
doesn't
out.
seem fair to me.
Doesn't.
Because what the co-op would be is everybody's giving up their 2,000 pounds, I would say, to him.
Well, it's going into the greater whole of all his customers, and then, yeah, so the little lady versus a
So they're
ranch or
paying
something like
$135
that.
a year for their 2,000 pounds. Now, and plus they're paying, what is it, a month for him to haul?
35 or $38, I think.
Yeah, so they're paying another
Yeah.
$135 for him to haul it. And then they can't take, well, I guess they could tell him to, hey, I've got a couch, I want you to take this couch.
If you lean it up
Maybe-
against the dumpster, he takes it.
And then he probably charges him more to take the couch.
No,
No, he doesn't.
tell you what, I put a big old TV in there the other week and he took it.
But he's
Anything over-
stopping doing that here lately some, but not at your place.
I
huh?
put a little motorcycle up
Anything
against
over
it this
3
week,
go.
so we'll
You're
figure
gonna
it out.
3 feet long, you don't take.
Yeah.
4 feet.
My mom pays for it, I don't pay for
I
it.
think what you guys are saying is the scales are basically the only, whether it's a tab scale or a bin scale, he's gotta weigh his stuff,
It just,
individual
it's
customers.
just like you said, Anaconda. You pay $80 a year and you can haul as much as you want. To the dump. Well, I mean, it is. going-
That would, I don't
You
see
know,
how
if
that's
we
not
hauled it
breaking
you.
them.
We should haul the deal.
Yeah,
it is going to you. I mean, you know.
yeah, look to buy trucks and bring it to you.
Yeah, let's go buy a truck and haul it to you.
Let's get an Anaconda Deer Lodge County address. The
Oh,
dam's there.
You would probably contract with us, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
I mean, all you have to do too is you drive in and say you're from Anaconda, that's it. They just open,
Wow.
they say you from Butte or Anaconda, and you say Anaconda,
Okay,
in you go.
you don't even have to give your address, do you?
Nope.
I was
Nothing.
Or
talking to Jack Owens and he had helping a property owner of the lake where they were dumping appliances out and they were up there trying to clean it up. And while they're up there cleaning it up, someone from Anaconda was backing up their truck to dump their appliances out.
And that's why.
Where was he
Up
saying?
at the lake. It's like, this is where we dump our appliances.
And that's why they make it easy. for us. They know we just throw it in the.
With that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Alright, but have this,
Did you make a motion to adjourn? Oh,
but
I will second it.
But-
Comment?
but have this policy on for next week too to discuss. I mean, and
Coordinate.
this is, yeah, there's nothing set in stone, it's just they're throwing out some language there.
In favor?
Well, something